Bottoms up.
He's like chucking it like he's gonna die. Was it good?
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode here on, well, I was going to say on Magic Online, but actually that is not true. Today, we are not playing Magic. We're just going to be chatting with one of my good pals, Jacob Murray, a name that you may not have known a few weeks ago, but if you play Legacy and you've at all been watching kind of Legacy results trickle in over the past few weeks, Jacob Murray is a name that you might now know.
Jacob Murray.
He's a good friend of mine, and he made a really, really deep run with the one and only Smallpox at this year's Eternal Weekend. And so I thought that it might be a good idea, you know, since everybody seems to have been rallying behind this unsung hero throughout the Pox legend.
Jacob Murray.
Exactly. I thought it might be a good idea to get Jacob onto the channel here to, you know, go over the deck, some of the card choices, and talk about his tournament. So Jacob, why don't you, I mean, first of all, thanks for coming on. Did you want to introduce yourself and maybe tell us a little bit about how you got into Magic more generally first? Maybe Legacy in particular?
So I started playing Magic around Dragons of Tarkir. It was like the last block in that set, and that's before they like fully retired the set idea, like the block set. I have format structure, and started playing Magic around there. I had played a little bit beforehand because of the Duels of the Planeswalker game on Xbox Live.
Oh,
Just played
nice!
that with my friends.
I feel like I've played that before in the past, actually, as well. That was a good one. Yeah.
Fun. It's I didn't really know what I was doing when I was playing the game. I think I vividly remember just like having a Biden of Thassa on board and just like activating it whenever I had mana open for no reason.
I need to look this
and just
up.
like dragging. I think I just like used the active over and over again. Just whenever I felt like it.
I love this card, dude.
I had like 10 mana. And I just kept activating it on my opponent's turns at the most inconvenient points for no reason.
I feel like I opened this card in sealed because I do remember using this, or maybe one of my friends did in high school. I like that we've shared a similar experience with the Biden of thoughts. That's amazing, dude.
It's pretty good. But after that, like during Dragons of Tarkir, I started playing Magic, started with Modern, and then eventually wormed my way into Legacy, really starting to take a foothold in that format around Conspiracy Take the Ground. Okay. Which is when all the really good Death and Taxes stuff came out.
Wonderful. And one of my favorite cards, Leovold, Emissary of Trest, I believe as well, right? It was always had soft spots for casting that on turn 2 off a Deathrite Shaman. What did you play in Modern?
I started out with playing Merfolk.
Nice. Yeah, the running joke here is that I got crushed by Merfolk at Eternal Weekend last year, and so everyone always likes bringing up Merfolk around me. I don't know if you were doing that intentionally there, Jacob, but
no. Unironically, I played Merfolk as my first Modern deck.
That's cool. I don't really follow Modern that much at all, because I got into like Legacy, I guess before Modern was a format initially, but then took like a really long break, and then when I got back into Magic, I just skipped over Modern entirely. So it's good to know that the fish are making an appearance elsewhere as well.
I think it's not really a deck anymore, but I could be wrong about that. It's always a deck that you have to be like, okay, if I get paired into it, like here we go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Conspiracy comes out, you get some Death and Taxes cards. Is this where you were heading with that?
Yeah. So yeah, all like I think I started playing the deck a little bit before that, and then just like Recruit of the Guard came out, Palace Jailer came out, Sanctum Prelate came out. Those are all just like massive jumps in power level for the deck. And if I remember properly, I think there was a Caracas reprint relatively recently too, around that time. Okay. So like everything was like all poised for me to just buy the deck relatively cheaply.
Nice.
And that was like my first like real grinder deck for Legacy.
Yeah, and you were playing it at a time. I mean, like Death and Taxes is still putting up solid results even in today's meta. I think it won one of the recent showcase or the Mox qualifier tournament on Magic Online recently. But I know that there was a time when Death and Taxes was like very solid. It had the the kind of rattlesnake approach of slowly strangling your opponents, which I
Yeah.
guess is similar to Pox.
Yeah, it's like it's two sides of the similar coin here on my deck preferences.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think it actually won the Team Trios Pro Tour on the Legacy side. It was like a part of the winning team for that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I was talking about that with one of my friends recently about that being one of the best pro tour coverages to watch, because there was just so much, like, it was so sweet to see some of the best minds in the game put their head into Legacy and seeing what they came up with. I thought it was a fun pro tour to watch. So
Yeah,
it sounds like you got into that at just the right time.
I think it was none other than Craig Wesco on Death and Taxes for the Legacy seat for the winning team.
That's amazing.
So like, if anyone's gonna do it, it's him.
Yes. I remember watching him play a bunch of like Kithkin decks back in the Lorwyn standard days for sure. Mono White Weenie. Craig Wesco's a legend for sure.
Yeah. And from there, I just like fell in love with the format and just kept branching out from like different decks here and there, depending on like what felt strong at the time. There was a point where I had LEDs for Dredge.
Okay.
And then that kind of went nowhere. So I was like, okay, what's the other cool deck I can build with LEDs? I guess the answer is Bomberman.
That's cool. Yeah. What about Doomsday now?
No. For as much as I played Legacy, I have actually never registered a blue duel in a Legacy tournament.
I respect that.
Which I think is very rare amongst like Legacy players as a whole. It's like it's the main draw to play the format for the Xerox shell, and then just like I was just like, nah, I just don't want to do that.
That's fair. Yeah. So what is it that speaks to non-blue for you then?
For the longest time, it was like price point. It was just like you didn't have to worry about like buying a whole bunch of duels to get into it. In like, there are some like non-blue decks that were pretty expensive. Bomberman was obviously a big thing for that. There's like the tombs plus the LEDs plus the City of Traders plus chalices at the time were expensive. Just like that was about like $3,000 for that shell at the time.
Yeah, it's expensive. I mean, Legacy is not cheap, and it's nice to know that there are some, relatively cheaper ways to get into the format.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen you play as well, like at Waypoint at least. Like when I started, I feel like you were maybe the first time I ever played against you. I was on like a blue-black kind of Death Shadow Delver style deck, and you might have been on red-white Initiative. If I remember that matchup. Then from there, I remember you playing like 8 cast, Cradle Control, lands more recently. Was there anything else I'm missing here? Any other eras?
There's a distinction between like lands and depths. I think I was like switching back and forth between those decks a fair bit when I was playing lands. Yeah, there was like a point where I was just like, any deck with a Mox Simon that was doing really well, I was playing it, or like any deck with an Ancient Tomb, I was doing pretty well in playing with it. So
those are two of the more powerful non-blue cards to be registering if you if you don't want to play blue cards for sure. So last year at Eternal Weekend, you played Cradle Control. I can't remember how that went for you.
You don't have to. It was bad.
Okay.
It was a not great time for me.
You made up for it this year. And I know that like I feel like you've been playing. You took like a bit of a break from Legacy this past year. If I recall, you weren't feeling kind of the state of the format. But then you eventually came back. You were jamming some lands for a while. And then it seems like for the past few months, you had been back on Cradle Control, practicing that list like a bunch at our local tournaments at Waypoint every Thursday night. And then you took like a couple weeks off again. You show up at Eternal Weekend. I hadn't seen you in a couple weeks. And in my mind, you're playing Cradle Control. And I think we ran into each other maybe Friday morning or something at the convention hall. Maybe it was on Thursday. And you're just like, yeah, I'm playing Pox. And I was like, what the hell? You're playing Pox? That's crazy, dude. So do you want to talk a little bit about how you just landed on Pox for this tournament? Why you kind of gave up the other green-black deck in favor of this one?
So it starts with roughly around like the time of the banning of Troll and Mycospawn. Like I was already not feeling the format that great on lands at that point, but like it was kind of made up for the fact by the fact that the current build of lands, the Sprouts Turbo Land-esque kind of shell, was just good and just like was able to just like get wins away from people just from out of nowhere, and was able to just like scam games from like the blue black tempo deck, which was I'd say the best deck at the format going into that ban cycle.
Yep. For sure. No, I remember that Sprouts list was very compact. And from the Doomsday side, I was like I used to beat lands quite frequently, and then all of a sudden there was like 4 disruptor flutes and like you're like multiple pithy needles to get off your Urza sagas, and you got like a lot faster as well. I mean, so suddenly things like started to feel not as easy as they once did from my perspective as well. So I think that the way that that deck was built kind of lent itself to quicker wins in order to keep up with turn 2 One Rings or turn 2 Atraxas or getting grief scammed out of the game, whatever it might be.
Yeah, the list is more or less a reflection of like what the lands had to do to keep up with the current state of Legacy more than anything else. The list is obviously very good and just but it felt like you were conforming to what Legacy has become to this point rather than just doing what Lands traditionally does best.
Right.
So then the bans hit and I start celebrating because like, oh my god, Mycospawn's gone. This card is horrible to play against. Troll was kind of whatever from my eyes, but like I felt like it probably needed to happen too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Mycospawn, big win for lands. That's at least what my impression was.
Yep.
But then in the local scene, what wound up happening was like, oh hey, the Mycospawn is gone, and then like the Reanimator deck is like a lot worse now with like big air quotes there on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So the control players started to come back, and the spreads list really does not like having white cards being played against them.
Right. I do remember you complaining about Wrath of the Skies a couple of times, just like nuking your
Yeah.
explorations, your Mox Diamonds. Yeah.
If you ever want to feel true grief and sorrow, just like watch a Jeskai control matchup play out against a lands deck where they get to resolve the Wrath of the Skies, and you just get to watch all the emotions go over the lands player's face there. It's brutal.
Yeah. I can imagine. That doesn't sound fun. You put all this work into playing all these permanents, and they're all just taken from you in one fell swoop.
It hits Saga too. It hits Saga too, Scott. It's so bad. I think people would complain more about that card if it wasn't buried under like 5 other Modern Horizons 3 cards.
For sure. Yeah, it's the white. I mean, Pernicious Deed has historically always been a very powerful spell if you have the mana to utilize it, and Wrath of the Skies does about the same thing for less in some cases. So yeah.
Yeah. White, destroy half your board. Pay 1 more, destroy all of it. Like no, I'm not having a good time when they're resolving that card, and I wasn't. And I just said to myself, what am I getting out of Legacy right now? And I think at that time it was just like not a whole lot. My heart at the time was with pre-modern,
right?
And I wanted to just do something else. And I was just like, okay, I'm just going to show up at locals, but I'm not going to play. I'm going to try my best to peddle pre-modern as much as I can at this point. I just don't want to play Legacy.
Mm-hmm. And what got you back into it then?
I actually genuinely don't know. I think it was just like doing what I think I like doing the most when I look at Legacy as a whole, just like finding things that I think look cool and wanting to play that.
Mm-hmm.
And the updated Cradle control list was kind of on that direction, where you just like you had Scythecat, that card's really good, and you had like the same shell as you had last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay. And we're running Thought Seizes in the main, so that way we can kind of like try it. Excuse me. So we can try to stave off the faster combo decks. And it's like, okay, this seems cool. Let's get back in with this. And the deck as a whole was fine. I think the deck is fine right now.
Yeah, I like so that deck has like endurances to fight against the graveyard, Thought Seizes, Bowmasters, the Reclaimer package with Bajuka Bog, which is also good against the graveyard. And there's like a lot to like about that strategy, and you were pretty invested in it from what I remember in like the month or so leading up to Eternal Weekend. So the printing of the hatchery that got you excited about Pox, or you want to goof around. So what happens in the last 3 weeks there?
So
to
the
get
main
you to
problem
change?
with the Cradle control shell is, and I think it might be an optics thing, because we play with a very good Forge player, but like I could just never beat that deck with that package.
Okay.
And just like I was just getting frustrated, and like it was getting very close to. It was like I was on the verge of like turning the corner against Josh, and just like being set up to win, but it just never happened. And it was just, to me, that was just getting frustrating.
Yep.
Because like you're doing everything right. It's just like, okay, what's the difference here? What am I not doing correct, or is this just variance?
Yeah, that's difficult to grapple with for sure.
Yeah.
So it was actually Forge, you think? Forge being a relatively poor matchup for Cradle Control that made you want to switch to a strategy like Pox that pressures the mana of the opponent and kind of keeps them from ever getting to 4 mana to resolve their powerful spells.
So the real secret behind all of this is like, after all this again, I was just like, okay, I'm kind of down on the format again. I'm like looking at Reanimator being at the top of the format again. Mystic Forge is here again.
Mm-hmm.
I was back and just like dragging games out the time as it usually does. And I was on the verge of just being like, okay, we'll go to Pittsburgh, but I don't think I want to play Legacy here either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we were kind of going back into the same headspace there and just
Okay.
like not really enjoying it. But then this is where the hero arc starts being birthed.
Awesome.
I
This is
see
what
this
people
cool
want
Loam
to
Pox
hear.
list. I see this cool Loam Pox list, and I did the same thing with the Cradle list. And it's just like, hey, this deck seems really cool. I would like to play this. And this happened about a month before the tournament. So
Right. So I'm not familiar with like the Pox community, but I do know that like, I mean, Pox has historically been like a deck that's always hiding in the shadows underneath all of the top decks in the format. Like people like Bosch and Roll have published lots of YouTube videos goofing around with Light from the Loams and Urza's sagas. So you noticed one of these lists cropping up in the wake of the hatchery. You thought it looked cool to you, and then you started experimenting with it.
yeah, I just like saw a list and I was like, yeah, like let's just jam this. This looks like a fun deck to play. And for the record, this deck is a blast to play.
It looks like it. It doesn't seem like a blast to play against, but I've
Yeah.
seen you express lots of joy while playing this deck and just like destroying people or watching other people play the deck and you like cackling to yourself next to them as they like resolve a small pox and just put their opponent into the into the dirt. Did you want to talk about the deck itself? Unless you have anything else you'd like to say about the beginning of your hero arc.
Yeah, so we see this deck a month before the event starts.
Mm-hmm.
We scrabble to get all the pieces ready for it, which is really just like us trying to find the Eumidian Hatchery and the Witherbloom commands. Everything else was like not that bad to find, but like no one had Eumidian Hatcheries and no one had Witherbloom commands. So like I think a week and a half was just dedicated to like shipping that stuff in from either across the States or like from various stores in Canada.
Yep.
So
how many times did you play it before you registered in the main event? Do you know? Like roughly?
Maybe 3 times.
Jacob Murray.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I know that like, I mean, it's kind of funny, right? That you can just like you're a very good Magic player. You've been playing this style of deck, right? Like, I think it starts to make sense when I'm asking you, you get into Legacy. I'm not like, I don't play blue decks. I played like exclusively like Mox Diamond and Ancient Tomb decks almost for the whole time I've been playing Legacy. So like you built up a lot of core skills and you know how to kind of like navigate the format. You know what all the other decks are playing because you have been playing Legacy for a long time. And so I'm sure, right, that some of the skills you've acquired along the way in your Legacy journey certainly contributed to your ability to be able to just pick this monster up and then somehow wield it through a lot of very strong opponents and Top 8 Eternal Weekend, which is incredible.
There's a lot of heuristics that you pick up from playing like the Mox Diamond decks and just like how they play out and like making sure you're loaming properly, making sure what you know when to loam, what your openers need to look like as well. And just like you can parlay that from lands a little bit into this shell, although it's not exactly 1-to-1.
Right.
Where like in the late game as lands, you can just become a loam donkey and just like press the loam button as many times as you want. In this deck, your spells are actually pretty good, so you like sometimes don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's lots of powerful spells here. So the deck itself is built around the card Smallpox, which is 2 black mana. Each player loses 1 life, discards a card, sacrifices a creature, then sacrifices a land. So this is one of those great Magic cards, right, that has symmetry. It does as
Hmm.
much to you as it does to your opponent. So it kind of reminds me in a way of like a card like Standstill or something like this, right? Where you play it and it seems like it could be equally good for both players. But there are ways to leverage the card such that it swings the game immensely in your favor. So how do you break that symmetry that's written on the card?
So the main way you want to break it is Eumidian Hatchery, and I think we've like seen that because of this card here, a lot of that symmetry behind the Pox is kind of just like melted away. You just like have a card that you're like fine sacrificing on the board for an effect, and the effect here is very good too. So
Yeah, it gets you a bunch of 1/1 flying insects. You've like presumably like I've even seen Pox players online like tapping this card in their end step just to, pay a life to get an egg. and then
yeah,
uh and then the smallpox comes, you have to sack a land, but the land you're sacking gives you anywhere from one to, I mean, I've seen like one of these with like 7 counters on in the
yeah.
one league that I played recently. So it can really kind of pop off.
Emitteri kind of fits the role the way like a card like in like Jeskai control. It kind of fits the role that like Fourth Aerolingus would sometimes fill, as like a
Okay.
card that you just have inconspicuously in your deck that you can just like jam and pop just to win the game once you've kind of turned the corner.
Right.
And it's like baked into your mana too, so it's even better.
Yeah, it's like also kind of like fulfills the role of like Mishra's Factory, right, for the old standstill
Yeah.
decks and like pre-modern and whatnot. If I was going to carry that analogy any further, so this is really, you think, the card that put this strategy over the top, or gave it the kind of legs it needs to withstand a 15-round grind against some of the best legacy players in North America.
It definitely juiced the deck up a lot. And I think when looking at the deck list, you kind of just like see like, oh, smallpox here, but what are we doing with smallpox? And then you go through the mana base and be like, oh, this card seems really good to sack to a smallpox. I think I'm for that.
Yes. Let's look at the other spells here. So you've got Smallpox. The deck is also sometimes called Loam Pox, right? Um,
Yes.
so why 2 life from the Loams?
So this was a big point of contention when people saw my deck list to begin with. And I think it's just because like in lieu of the deck's name having Loam in its title, this is not really like the same kind of idea as lands where you like want to keep continuously refreshing your loam so that we can play multiple land set with an exploration.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just like cast this in the mid to late game, and like obviously you can like recur it in the late game to get more value off of it there, but it's more of just like a mid game refuel of like your powerful lands like Saga, Hatchery, Wasteland, and the sorts of that.
Okay. So this in a way becomes your like win condition once you've limited you put your opponent in this Smallpox chokehold, and then this lets you recoup some of the resources you've lost due to the Smallpox.
Hmm.
Um, by getting back win conditions in the form of Urza's Saga, Eumidian Hatchery, Wasteland, but then also, I mean, Boseiju. Like in Vintage Cube, I've Ren and Sixed many a Boseiju, and it feels absolutely busted. So I imagine you're living a similar experience here. Boseiju is such an
Yes.
excellent card; it can't be countered really, save like a Stifle or something. So that seems really really juicy to me. And I guess you can also like you just kind of like get to ancestral recall for your life from the loams with Malevolent Rumble and Witherbloom command because you're just like milling
Yep.
yourself anyways. And so is that part of the justification for only running
Yeah, that's part of
two
the logic there,
life from the loams?
where you have both Rumble and Witherbloom command to help you kind of just like dig towards your loam. Like when I talk about this deck, I usually refer to command and Rumble as like cantrips, the way like
Mm-hmm.
a blue deck would refer to Brainstorm and Ponder as their cantrips. These are the cards that like let you set up to like find your powerful endgame pieces like Loam, Hogak, and the sorts of that, or like the lands you want to get back with like any of these pieces as well, because they also just recur stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. Um,
It's really good.
so you mentioned before I hit record that you initially had 2 commands and 3 life from the loams in the deck, and our friend Dave Liver, who shout out to Dave, he top aided the vintage event last year on Doomsday. He had, you said, convinced you to swap to 3 commands over 3 loams. What's the argument there?
What's the argument there? Witherbloom command's a very good Magic card, and he had a lot of experience playing Bug Beans in the format,
Yep.
and that that deck really likes with the Room Command as well. It lets you like refresh your wasteland effects. It like kills small creatures. It like is like a mini, like it's like a smaller shatter disenchant effect.
Mm-hmm.
And just like when you like frame it from the context of a loam that does something else on top of it, it's like very good. And it's like, yeah, we will definitely be putting this in my deck.
Yeah, I think it's a solid card. And like all the modes are good. Did you ever win any games by draining for 2 for that like extra reach that your opponent didn't account for?
It was not a lethal, but it was like something that did come up. It was just like, he has no creatures on board because he can't cast spells here. He has no permanents. It's just like, I guess we'll just use it as a loam to get back like a Saga or a Wasteland here,
Yeah.
and then just like drain for 2, and that's like completely serviceable, especially in a deck like this where you can like kind of be strapped on health because of Hatchery and Thoughtseize.
Yep. That makes sense to me. You've got 4 Thoughtseize, which I assume is for the combo decks in the format. It's a really good turn 1 play in general. It allows you probably also to like get information about how, like if you Thoughtseize your opponent on turn 1, they have 4 lands in their hand. Would that like change the way that you deploy your small poxes and wastelands? Like I assume that the information you get just from seeing the opponent's hand is almost as valuable for you in terms of like figuring out what the pressure points are that you're playing against.
Yeah, I would argue it's one of the best spells you can cast on turn 1 in the format right now, and it's not particularly close either.
Yeah.
It's just like you just like set up your game plan so well depending on what deck you are, and like if you're playing a black deck in this format, you have to really justify if you're not. You have to find a very strong justification why you would not want to run a Thoughtseize in your deck.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I think, and yeah, I guess probably for like people who might be taking up the strategy, I would probably add as well that I think, yeah, setting up the game plan like you were describing there seems really important to your deck, where you kind of need to line up all your spells in the right kind of way. Because like if you start like wastelanding your opponent and they just kept like a 6-land hand or something, and eventually you run out of wastelands, so then they resolve their Karn or something, like that can be bad. But if you Thoughtseize them on 1 and see they've got all those lands, then maybe you can focus on, I don't know, getting a Barrogoyf out or a Grist out and start grinding value that way. Maybe I'm wrong.
You also have the added benefit of
this,
knowing
but
that like they just kept a bad hand too. It just like
Yeah, I guess it. Yeah, how many people are keeping 6 lands hands? Maybe that's
keeping the 6 basic in spots.
Yeah, true, brother. True. Okay, so Thoughtseize is self-explanatory. 1 Fatal Push. What's up with that?
Just like it's just like a generic, just like catch-all, just good card to have in the deck. It's just like answers the front side of a Tameo, answers other like small pesky creatures. There's no. It's just a serviceably good card in this deck. I wouldn't say it's like unreplaceable, but it's like it's there.
I guess yeah, because you've got the small poxes, which are also pressuring your opponent's creatures.
You have Pox, you have the Wither Room Command. It's just like you have Bowmaster.
Yep.
You can handle a lot of like the really small creatures very well in this deck. It's just like a decently sized creature. Like if they play like a Scythe Cat and make it big, or they have like a White of the Reliquary, and like that becomes a problem. Maybe.
And then you've got 2 more in the sideboard I saw as well, which I like.
Yeah.
In terms of the creatures, 4 Bowmasters seems pretty self-explanatory to me. A lot of people play cantrips in the format. There's also a lot of X1 creatures like Nomads and Core and other things you might want to be killing with it. But this also has some secret combo potential with another creature you're playing here, right?
Other cool thing to know about Bowmaster here is you can like set up a Bowmaster line with it, and then like cast a Bowmaster on their turn. They let it resolve. You go to your turn, cast a Smallpox. You don't actually lose the important creature there too, which is like one of the fatal flaws of Smallpox. It's like it doesn't historically play well with like singleton like value creatures, but like Bowmasters is kind of the exception with that.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I actually hadn't thought about that.
Sorry, my bad. I wanted to get another point about this card too.
Sure.
When your opponent's like kind of strapped on resources too, and they're like desperately trying to claw their way out of it, one of the ways they could try to do that is just like cantripping into finding more lands there and just like setting up that as part of their game plan. But like obviously when there's a Bowmaster on board, you are very heavily inclined to not do that.
Right. So that's also then keeping your opponent from drawing out of the lock that you put them in with the Pox and the Loams and the
Correct.
Wastelands. Okay, I like that a lot. That must be helpful. A helpful way to look at things for anyone who's interested in jamming this beast.
Traditionally, that's one of the fatal flaws of this archetype, where just like, okay, we like fully put your opponent under the lock, and then just like, oh, I'm just gonna keep drawing garbage here, and then they eventually like find a cantrip and like get their way out of it.
Right. Okay. I like this. Hogak.
The GAC is back, baby.
The GAC is back. Was this common to Pox lists?
It was common in the list that I was seeing leading up to EW.
Okay.
I've seen some lists kind of shave down on it now, but like I still think it's a very important card of the deck. And if we're going with like control deck analogies, this is your Murktide. This is the card you slam once you turn the corner. You can obviously slam it a little bit earlier against certain decks, but like you just play this and then you just start beating down with it.
Yep. It feeds into the same idea too, where with like the Loam, right, where you draw into it off of Malevolent Rumble and Witherbloom command, like.
Yes.
That has to feel so good, like Witherbloom command, return Wasteland, mill either Loam or Hogak, and then just like jam it.
There was a game, it was the last game of day 1, where I was like playing against the Cephalid player, and just like midway through it, I like cast a Witherbloom command, just like kill your thing, and just start loaming. Like, it just like loam back a land. It's like, all right, this is already pretty solid. And then I flip over the Hogak, and I already have 2 creatures on the board. I made an audible monkey noise to Scott. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, as one does when they flip a Hogak.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I forgot to cast a Thoughtseize or something too. I was just like, yeah, this is good enough. Go.
Yeah. That's amazing. Oh man. So Hogak is like, the idea is that this comes down post Pox so that you don't have to worry about sacrificing it to your Pox, or maybe by then you've already got some insects or Bowmaster dudes out to kind of mitigate against that. I assume the same goes for the Goyf as well.
Yeah, so it's usually a card you don't want to jam early for the Hogak. When you can and you know you can get away with it, it feels great. My winning in on coverage, I played this thing on turn 2 and he died on turn 4. Just like
wonderful. I think we're gonna watch that in a second here.
Yeah.
Soon enough. We don't.
But Baragoyf, if there was a card in this deck list, honestly, that I like would have probably went back on and be like, maybe I didn't want to run this. It'd honestly be the Baragoyf, which might sound surprising.
Yeah. What would you? Why are you going back on it, do you think?
So the main idea behind Baragoyf was it to be kind of a hedge against the aggressive decks and the stompy decks.
Okay.
Like, because during that bit of testing that Josh did, he played at a 1K, and his main comment was like, I don't think this deck can beat Mono Red.
Mono Red Stompy. Okay.
Yeah. Like, they have the Blood Moon effects, and they can kind of just like put out a fast enough clock where it becomes a problem. And Baragoyf is historically pretty good against those decks. So I was like, okay, let's slot this in here, and let's take out a Loam and a Rumble, and just have this be kind of a hedge against that.
Yep. Okay, so it was replacing Loam and Rumble. So if you were to cut the Baragoyfs, that's what you would replace them with? You would go up on Rumble number 4, Loam number 3?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's kind of in part to the fact that the aggressive tempo decks, like Blue-Red and the Stompy decks, didn't really perform that well this EW, and just like Baragoyf was often just a card I was just cutting in a lot of matchups because it wasn't doing that much. Do better at what you already excel at, and just like I obviously didn't lose too much by running the Baragoyf main, but
what about Grist? I think that's like roughly the last of the main deck cards here.
Yeah. Grist kind of just like falls into the same area as Fatal Push. It's just like another good like value piece that you can kind of just like put in your deck and just be happy about doing it too. Especially in a game where your opponent's strapped on resources again, you can kind of just like leverage the fact that you have another Planeswalker just helping you out, just to like help you close out games.
That makes sense. Did you ever run into any issues against Reanimator where you like incidentally milled one of your creatures off of your Loam, and then they like reanimate a Grist or something like this, and it ended up being problematic for you, or not really?
It did come up against the Reanimator decks. It came up against Juju Bean, and then it came up against Hans.
Okay.
Where they did get to reanimate it, but I don't think it really mattered in the context of
Okay.
both of those games. Julian was just really low in general, and he was kind of just like doing it as a desperation play to kind of just make sure he wasn't dying to aborted constructs.
Yep.
And then I was just like aggressively dead against Hans game 2, so it just like did not matter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay. Uh Other cards, I guess, I mean, these are straightforward. Lava Spur Boots, Nihil Spellbomb, Pithing Needle, all to be fetched off of your Urza Saga, have solid applications across the format. Lava Spur Boots giving you the... Did you ever put the boots on a Hogak, actually?
Unfortunately, no.
Damn.
I've done it before, and it's glorious. It's especially when they have no lands in play. And just like they just have to be like, okay, how am I crawling my way back out of this now? This is insane.
I love that. Yeah, just take a hasty 9. And
Take
it's
a
got
hasty
ward
9.
1, so like you totally know
Yeah.
they're never being able to play for that after you've like Loam Pox them into the
Exactly.
dirt. I love it. It's basically untargetable.
That'll close out a game very quickly.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to say about the main deck that we might have missed, or general synergies?
Main deck. There's nothing really too out of the ordinary here. The only thing I will say is that Diamond off of Saga is like a very relevant line of play in this deck as well. It like does come up when you're playing lands, but I'd say it's a lot more relevant here.
Right. Okay. So why is it relevant and important here?
Since you're also like kind of going after your lands a little bit too with the Smallpox, just making sure you have at least 2 mana at any given point is like pretty good. So like if you open a game on a Diamond and then fetch another one later, it means if you're going after your resources, or your opponent's like also going after your resources as well, you are setting up that like you are able to cast most of your deck here. Bearwoif and Grist Withstanding.
Great. Okay, that's awesome. And then this, I guess, also is helpful. I mean, not off the Saga like you were describing, but against that mono red stompy matchup, you probably have to have this Mox Diamond, or maybe 2, for you to really get going.
It's like they just like slam a turn 1 Blood Moon against you, and it's like this is not the fun zone here.
Yeah.
I don't even get to activate my hatchery here. Like I need help.
Yeah, I can imagine Blood Moon is so crippling. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's
shuts
another
off 2 of your primary win conditions.
Madness. Absolute madness.
All right. Speaking of madness, let's go to the board here now.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about here? I understand.
What do you want to talk about first here, Scott?
I mean, let's just get right to the punch. I understand that there's a story about this card. Do you want to tell the viewers about that story?
So, in the doldrums of me picking out this deck and just like being like, I want to play this, I was really set on like having like a relatively serious sideboard. And we wound up here. We wound up with like the 14 being pretty good, but I didn't know what the 15 was. It's just like there was like no card that was really screaming out to be like everything that was going to be the 15 card was like a boringly good 15th card. It was like another Fatal Push or another Force of Vigor.
Yep.
And then in the Discord call with Mr. Joshua himself, he just is like, "Oh, I have a Chains of Mephistopheles. You're playing Chains of Mephistopheles." And it's like, I don't know. This card doesn't seem that great.
I mean, it's a badass card if you got it or you got access to it. There's certainly like something very special about this card. The art's incredible. The old Legends enchantment, it's wonderful.
He had the strong army for like an hour to play this card.
Was there any argument beyond it's just badass and cool?
The card actually does stuff, which is kind of miraculous by 2025 standards. It checks the flip side of Tamiyo really. It actually checks both sides of Tamiyo really well. They're not actually getting the card advantage that becomes so crippling with Tamiyo.
Mm-hmm. It's also an enchantment. Most Tamiyo decks are Dimir, which have a very hard time dealing with enchantments. Besides Brazen
Once it's on the board, it's pretty hard for them to get rid of it.
Yep.
It checks the ring really well too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. They like activate it for 3, and like its primary specialty like kicks in. It's like it's really good at hosing like the multi-card draws. Like a Ponder is like kind of hard to cast with this card on board, but it's really Brainstorm that gets crippled by Chains of Mephistopheles. If they're like trying to like activate a ring for like 3 or 4, and just like you just watch them just like cycle through their entire deck. It's like, okay, you'll think that nothing's happening here.
How many times did you cast this card in the main event?
I think 3 times.
Okay.
One time it really mattered. The second time, my opponent just did not want this on the board and like double dazed it when I had mana on board for it. And then I think the third time was against Hoddick, and I don't think I cast it against Hoddick. It might have been at least twice.
Okay. I like to think
And
that when you cast it, you put like a little tally on the bottom of Josh's card, and you just handed it back to him with like these tally marks on it. I'm just kidding.
if the card wasn't like $900, I would maybe do it.
For sure. Oh, I love that yeah, the Chains of Mephistopheles was in the sideboard. So this was like the not serious. You kind of had a 15th slot that was up in the air, and someone waved a chains in your face, and you're like, I guess I'll put that
I guess
in
I'll
here.
run this.
Okay.
For anyone trying to build into this deck, please do not buy a Chains of Mephistopheles because of this. This is a if you have one, go for it. It is sick, but
for sure,
especially
yeah.
with the way Legacy is looking like it's going to shape up, its primary targets might not be in the format anymore either.
Right, that's being the Tameo and maybe the Ring.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so the 14 serious cards. You've got Fatal Pushes for creature matchups. You've got, and I guess Toxic Deluge as well. You've got Force of Vigor, Haywire Might for like artifacts, Void Mirror for like Storm and Mystic Forge. What would you like to discuss here?
Everything here is like pretty self-explanatory. It's like against like the non-white creature decks, you want to bring in Barrogoyf. Against like small creature decks, you want Fatal Push, Force of Vigor, Might, Forge, not Forge, Void Mirror, and Chains are like for Forge, and that was the big 6 I was bringing in pretty much the entirety of the day.
Okay.
And then Leyline is
go ahead.
Leyline is like kind of it is a surfaceable card in this deck, but it's not a card I'm like not too proud of to play with moving forward. It's fine for checking Reanimator, but I think you have better options for like wider sideboard diversity than Leyline. But I think right now you kind of have to be on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you need that 0 mana thing to be in on turn 1 against Oops. Is that the main idea?
Against Oops, and then just like even beyond just like stuffing the Reanimator stuff, like the reanimation package out of Blue Black, it like stuffs Murktide too, which is like sometimes a card that's kind of annoying to fully deal with.
Yep, that makes sense. Oh, what would you play instead of the ley lines?
Some form of split of like Endurances, Dothy Voidwalkers, and I think there was a third, or like Fairy Macabre.
Right. Okay. So the main decks in the format, the pillars in this current metagame at least, are Blue Black Reanimator, Mystic Forge, and Nadu. Did you want to just describe what you're like for anyone who maybe wants to get into the deck? Like, what's the game plan in those 3 matchups?
So for Reanimator, you kind of just play a resource denial game with the mindset of if they have it, they just have it game 1. If you can get a spell bomb out early, that's awesome. But like your main goal is trying to just be like resource denial and make casting the reanimation stuff as awkward as possible. Thoughtseize helps you a lot in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like kind of just stuffing their cantrips with like Bowmaster just helps out a lot.
In the post board, you're bringing in ley lines, I assume.
Yeah, your ley lines. I think I was bringing in push in this matchup too. It's just like dealing with a flip Tameo is like so devastating for this deck.
Oh, right, because
so like, sure
the insects just get completely
you
shut
don't get
down.
to attack.
Right. That makes sense.
And then of course the chains comes in as well. He's just like getting the stuff there, brainstorms and cantrips is like so nice, and just like, and then you bring out all the non Bowmaster creatures. You bring out the Hogak and the Barrogoyf. Their creatures will eventually just outscale you.
Okay.
And just like you just won't have time to do that. And then I'm pretty sure I was boarding out Needle, and then like I think I was boarding out one of the Loams because like there's a matchup that like kind of gets decided relatively early. So the the card advantage that Loam offers you kind of just like dissipates away a little bit.
Right. I see. And then I guess like it makes sense to me boarding out these creatures as well, because what we were talking about earlier about, incidentally milling your creatures to have your opponent reanimate them, like especially if you have the Leyline of the Void out, stopping their graveyard. All of those reanimation effects will be targeted toward your creatures. So you just say, I'm not going to have many powerful creatures in my deck post-board.
Right. The only exception there is Grist, which on its own, like if you just play it against the Reanimator deck, it's like historically really good against them.
Mm-hmm.
You just get rid of all their creatures, and then you kind of just like just sit there and just making sure if they try to like mount a counter attack on you, you can kind of just like set up to make sure you don't lose to that either.
Wonderful. I also didn't realize that Grist also kills creatures or planeswalkers, so that's helpful if a Tamiyo does flip.
That too.
Great. What about Nadu?
Nadu, I only played it against it twice this tournament, but it felt reasonable. Nadu falls in kind of the camp of like they are a land dork, like they're like a play a land, play a dork go deck, which obviously Smallpox really is happy when you get to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cause I guess Smallpox kill your land and your Noble Hierarch is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So you're still just kind of executing the same resource denial plan and then eventually turn the corner.
Yeah. You resource denial. The main way you lose this matchup is if they get the combination of Nomads on core and Nadu on board. Again, it's the same thing where it's like you had all these like you're denying all these resources, and then they eventually just like stick that combo and refill up to 8 cards in their hand, and it's like, okay, the lock is broken. I can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on. And outside of that, if they like play a creature and you just don't have an answer for it fast enough, that can be a problem. I lost a game round 3 against the Nadu deck because they just like had a Scythe Cat and I just never found a piece of removal for it, and then just became like an 8/8, and it was like, yeah, I'm dead.
Scythe Cat gets big real quick for sure.
Yeah, she just like went land fetch land. I'm like, fuck.
I imagine this is what the deluges are for, and
yeah. If you can like generate like 2-for-1s, that's obviously pretty good against this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the combo, this really does just feel like a like traditional like control versus mid-range matchup.
Okay.
So any card that like lets you set up like virtual card advantage is always going to be like nice and helpful.
For example, what would be a way to set up some virtual card advantage?
Just like getting more resources out of. I guess I think that's just like literal card advantage at that point, but.
That's fine. That's fine. Advantage of some kind. You just want
to keep grinding advantage against your opponent, and then eventually they won't have anything left to do, and you have some stuff on board, and then you just kill them.
Hell yeah.
Fatal pushes are obviously good against them too, so you bring that in. I'm not sure about the Barrowgoyf though. They are a swords deck, but like you eventually just get them down to the point where they have nothing to deal with a Barrowgoyf anyway, and you can kind of just win there.
Yep.
For the board outs, I board out Hogak in this matchup.
Okay.
For the main reason is they have Caracas in their 75 as well, and getting Hogak Caracas feels really miserable.
Yes.
On top of the Swords of Plowshare.
That does not sound good at all. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you take Spellbomb out, and I'm trying to remember what the other one is. I think I take a Beseiju in this matchup too.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's just like you can kind of trim on lands a little bit. I think it's like Beseiju Mox Diamond, I think is the cut.
Okay.
But I can't remember how my sideboard map is. But
no, that's fair. You do have a sideboard guide, right? That is in the Pox Discord.
I did accidentally send you one here, so. And this is for the list without Barrowgoyf's main. But it's probably the most common version of the deck right now that's being played. It is open to the public, so if you want to look at it, it should be in the Pox Discord. I will try my best to pin it after this, so it's a little bit more accessible. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then Forge.
The last big deck.
Yeah. I mean, I watched your match against
John
Barber, and Reed Duke describing it as a flawless victory, and it was. It looked like miserable for the Forge player. So what's that? What's the approach there?
This is probably one of your more favored matchups with this deck, and you just get to press the Wasteland button against them, and they can't really do anything about it if they don't have a needle.
So it's just Wasteland is the name of the game. They're not even playing like basics in their deck.
They have
so
no
you actually
basics,
have
so like
5
Ghost Quarter
Wastelands.
and Beseiju is really good against them.
Beseiju. Yep.
Wither Blue Command to catch their Grim Monoliths. The only real thing that you're scared of in this matchup is that they just go like land or some way to produce 2 mana, play Grim Monolith, play Key, untap the Monolith, play Ring on turn 1, or like play like some 4-drop on turn 1 that's like hard to deal with. But like
So-
aside from that, it's like pretty much an easy road to victory.
So if you're a Forge player looking for a way to beat up on Pox, you almost like have to have an exceptional hand like that
Yeah.
if you want to.
And the way that the
contend.
Pox, the way the Forge deck is set up right now is like you get a lot more mana in the mid game. Like your mid game mana is a lot stronger than it's been in the past, but like
Mhm.
you don't have as many like explosive turn ones as you did with like the 4 tombs for City of Traders build.
Right, that makes sense because you're only playing 4 instead of 8 ways to have 2 mana on one without a pedal or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And then you've got more things like, I mean, Void Mirror is a very strong card against Forge, right?
There's some serious caveats of how good this card is against Forge, but in
I guess
general,
the
you
Planar
just get to play this.
Nexus, you have to keep that at bay, right?
And you also shut off your Force of Figures while you do that as well, which is a card you also would want against them as well.
Right. Okay, so yeah, it's not as simple as just jamming this on turn 1 off a Mox Diamond, and you got to kind of be cautious of the ways that they can play around the mirror and the way that the mirror also plays against some of the other cards you're bringing in.
I mean, in general, if you're slamming it on turn 1, you're pretty happy, but
Yes, yeah.
there's like a little bit more nuance to playing the mirror in this matchup than you would normally expect. And then, you bring in Haywire Might, you bring in Chains of Mephistopheles as well, and then you take out Hogak, which also has anti-synergy with Void Mirror.
Right. Okay. Yep. I just had to take a second to process that.
Yeah, I saw you looking at the chains, and I'm like, oh. I had to explain it a couple times. I haven't memorized at this point, which is pretty funny. It's a lot less complicated if you use Magic Shorthand to explain it as well.
Give me a 30-second summary of Chains of Mephistopheles.
So if a player was to draw a card, except for the first card they would draw on their draw step, they rummage. They discard a card, then draw a card. And if they can't rummage, they mill.
Okay.
I think that's the easiest and fastest way to explain it to someone.
That's actually, I don't know that I've ever heard it put just like that, so I like it. Shout out to rummaging, by the way. You don't get to rummage too often these days. So, all right, well, yeah, thanks for going over these matchups. What, like, generally do you think the best strengths and weaknesses of the deck are in the current metagame, and what advice might you give to someone who wants to pick up the list and try it for themselves?
Your best strength is so long as you get to like square up with your opponent. So long as they're not like comboing you early or just like doing anything to get super ahead super early, you have a pretty honest shot of just like resource denying them and just like putting them into the ground. And like I know that is a bit of an ask, but it is doable, especially with cards like Thoughtseize or early Bowmasters to like help you out set up, making their plays a lot more awkward. And then the big weakness of this deck is that you are functionally a control deck that doesn't have access to Force of Will, which means you're kind of cold to like turn 1, like the same like turn 1's like I'm going to do something ridiculous and like you better have the Force here or you're just losing.
Right. So any kind of force check strategy, oops all spells, maybe like Black Saga Storm, some hands out of Doomsday, things like that. Yeah. Do you have any advice for someone who's picking up this deck and trying it out for the first time? I assume that lots of people have been doing that in the wake of your success.
A lot of people online playing this deck right now. What would I give advice for? Just like have a good study of what your openers look like. I think you just like can fall into a trap of just looking at your hand. Like there's definitely some lands and spells in here. Like this should be good enough. Like this hand down here would be an example of a hand that I would not probably want to keep.
Okay, why wouldn't you want to keep this hand?
It's a little bit slow, and like it also doesn't have like any form of like turn 1 interaction. It's like going like turn 2 Rumble is like fine. It's not something I would say is like exemplary.
Okay.
The real cards you're looking for are Thoughtseize, Wasteland, and Mox Diamond. Those are like the big three.
I was gonna ask, like, how different would this hand be if Barrowgoyf was a Mox Diamond? Then it
You would snap
becomes
keep this like
busted,
easily,
right?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Wonderful. I'll look.
like turn 1 Rumble, turn 2 Smallpox. Just like you just bog them so hard.
For sure. Well, all right. Let's evaluate a couple more hands then.
Hand's better. You can like it doesn't have any like turn 1 interaction or like turn 1 play besides the boots, but you potentially get to set up for a Smallpox here. You get to set up for a Bowmaster. It's just like looking at hands like this and just being like, what is my general game plan?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I guess, the truth behind any good Magic deck.
For sure. For sure. But like, yeah, it's always because I can imagine, right? Like that last hand that we just looked at, like I can imagine someone opening that hand and being like, I've got lands and spells, I'll keep it, right? But maybe it's not as forceful.
Figuring out what the game plan is. Like, even this is like a serviceable hand in this deck. Like,
yeah. You got Wasteland, you got the Hatchery already. You got
Wasteland, Fatal Push, Mox Diamond. You get the Rumble turn 1.
If you rumble into Loam, like you're laughing,
like
right?
You're just cooking with gravy.
Oh, brother, I love cooking with gravy.
Yeah.
2 more hands. What do you think of this one?
2 more hands. Chip.
Ship it.
It's you don't have green. Interesting. Maybe. This is a maybe. You take a lot of life off of this hand, though, is the problem. It doesn't do nothing, but it's just like, this is the kind of hand that you, interesting enough, probably would actually lose to like blue-red with.
I was just thinking of blue-red. I was like, yeah, you keep this, and they go turn 1 Dragon's Rage Channel. You're like, oh no.
And they like, or if they're sitting on the days, it's just like, okay, GG's, and just like, and then let's see one more here. No.
All right, one more.
If we're on the okay.
Sorry, I like maybe I should have got you to explain why, but that one seemed like they just didn't have enough mana.
If you're on the draw and you see another land there, that hand's kind of goated, but other than that, it like gets a little bit sketchy.
Actually, speaking to that point, really quick, because Bosch and Roll just posted a video this morning, of him playing your deck. I think Jim Monolith from Legacy of the North, shout out to Jim Monolith and Legacy of the North, did a submission for that to happen, and Bosch actually had a hand like that. I think it was in the first game, where it was like a 1-land Mox Diamond hand, and he was on the draw, and he's like, if I draw another land, that's like pretty good, but then he reasoned to mulliganing it because it was like slightly under 50-50 to get the land. Were you keeping hands like that at all, or?
My last hand against HJ Goddick was like that. I was just like, it wasn't exactly to that tune. It was like fetch land and then also a ley line in that matchup too. And it's like, okay, I functionally have 3 looks to find what I'm looking for here. I had 2 looks. I was on the play. I go play ley line, play fetch land. The next 2 looks are land. I'm like very good because then I can just start casting my rumbles.
Mm-hmm.
So I like fetch, find a mortuary, whiff off of a land there, and then draw, and I don't find another land for the rest of the game. So
I did watch that unfold, and it was kind of heartbreaking, for sure.
It was a little sad, but
what do you think of this hand?
This hand, get to cast Loam a whole bunch, get back a Ghost Quarter. I think this is fine.
You go turn 1, Wasteland, Mox Diamond, pitch Ghost Quarter, cast life from the Loam, return Ghost Quarter, and then you dredge Loam looking for
just more lands.
More lands.
Your hand's like already stacked with some pretty good spells. You can probably just like set up to like find more ways to cast them.
Yep.
Ghost Quarter can like find you a black source if you really want to cast a Smallpox at some point in the game. But it basically has everything you would want from a hand like this.
Yeah, this one seems great. This might be one of the stronger ones we've looked at. Well, I feel like we could sit here all day just looking at hands, but yeah, so that's your main advice is like spend a good deal of time in the mulligan. Like don't snap, keep your hand, ask yourself, how is this going to play out? And try to work out a solid game plan so you know that you're doing the Pox thing in that game, because if you don't do the Pox thing, you might be getting clowned in a format as oppressive as Legacy.
The other point of advice is this deck does play kind of slow. I felt I was playing relatively quickly, and even then I was like kind of worried about my round timer as well. So it's definitely a deck where you have to like practice disciplined Mulligan decisions, and then just like playing on the clock pretty efficiently.
Okay. I imagine that comes with repetition and just, I mean, you have the
Yeah,
familiarity playing Mox
right.
Diamond lands decks already, but to someone like me who's never really played those strategies, I imagine I could get bogged down
Yeah.
pretty easily.
The heuristics are
for
there
sure.
already for me. It's just like if anyone's like picking this deck up without doing that, it becomes kind of a dicey proposition.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring up the melee here because we've been talking for a while already. Are you still doing?
We already have been, yeah.
You're still doing good.
I think we're good. Yeah,
All right.
I have my phone off anyway, so it's
Sick.
you
Just looking
can
here.
talk to me whenever.
Let's
alright.
run through. So how do you, I mean, Jesus Christ, this record. I'm like, it's just like Jacob Murray wins basically the whole way down. Let me make sure
Jacob
that
wins.
people can see this properly.
Jacob wins against some like notably pretty good Magic players too.
Yeah, so someone, right, that sees Pox entering the top 8 of Eternal Weekend might think like, oh,
I had, like,
you
an
just
easy
played
bracket.
against,
Oh, like,
yeah,
oh,
you had
yeah.
an easy bracket all the way down or something like this. But now I'm seeing, you know, Juju Bean, John Barber, Hans, Hank Zong. There's some Michael Puchkov, I believe,
Roland.
top baited. Is Roland Chang as well? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Michael top 8'd as well. Like it's just like
Yeah, you played against some banger players here. Do you want to walk us through the tournament briefly?
Bare note, I don't have tournament notes for this because I wasn't really anticipating doing the best, so I didn't bother writing too much down. So
That's all
most of it's
right.
just gonna be off of memory here.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. So you sit down your first round, you're playing against Mono White Mystic Forge.
Mystic Forge.
And
this is kind of where I learned that this matchup is very, very sad for the Forge players.
I love that like you learned it in round 1.
I've had 3 reps with this team going into this tournament. My only prior experience with this matchup is playing against Josh and beating him for the first time in a while too. And it's like, oh, you may have a good Forge matchup here. And it's like good. It's a good thing I got paired into it 6 more times this tournament from here.
Wow. Man,
I played a lot of Mystic Forge this weekend.
I might have top aided too if I got paired against that much Forge. That's the other thing. I guess Doomsday and Pox share a common a common strength in having very good Mystic Forge matchups. So yeah, it looks like you pretty handily dispatched this Forge player. You just wasteland them into the dirt, or do you remember anything notable?
I don't think I had a full lock on him, but like it was definitely like he couldn't really execute his main game plan all that well, and then I was just able to like put a clock on him and just kill him that way.
Okay.
And it was kind of the same thing for both games. I think game 2 I had a Void Mirror out, and he was just like really feeling the squeeze of that.
As one
he was trying to draw out of it with a ring, but I think I also had a Bowmaster on board too.
Nice. Yeah, that seems like a nice little. I mean, you were describing that kind of stranglehold against the blue-black Reanimator deck where you challenge their resources, but then also challenge their way of finding the resources you've taken away from them. And it seems like that's playing out here as well. And then we got a pair of Bant Nadu mid-range decks for rounds 2 and 3.
My round 2 was like kind of melancholy a little bit too, because we were playing the match out and like I had a needle on Nomads on core, and it just like turned into like a normal just like grind game of like what you would expect circa like 2017 Legacy. It's just like we were just like kind of just like jockeying on board for stuff, and just like it didn't felt like it was like out of the reach of either one of us. I think midway through the game, I'm like, oh, there's like no combos on the board here really right now. This is like kind of a decent game.
Yeah. You got to resolve that pithing needle in order to play a normal game of Magic these days. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess you're, I didn't think about this before, but like Smallpox is like a really good answer to a resolved Nadu if there's no other creatures on the board because it doesn't even target
you don't get a
it.
trigger off of it.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The second Nadu player managed to take a game from you.
That was the guy who landed a Scythe Cat post lock and just like drew lands and killed me.
Okay.
So, but it was more competitive than the first game, but it was just like game 3 really came down to the wire where I was just like shipping him down with like I think an orc army and a 1 flying bug token, and then he eventually just like goes to Zenith for 1 for I think a halfling, and he was at 1, and it's like, oh, I'm stonewalling you here now, and it's like, okay, I'll just attack you in the air. It's like, oh yeah, I'm dead.
That's amazing. I imagine you probably won a lot of games on the back of just a couple little bugs or an orc.
Yeah, there's obviously the games where you have your Hogak and then or you have the Saga and you're like popping off with those, but there was probably a third of the games I was winning. I just had like 2/1/1s on board and just started attacking them over and over again, and they didn't do anything because they didn't have any resources.
I love it. Ooh, Sneak and Show.
Yeah. Sneak and Show was the scary one. This was the match after I played game 1. He just turn 2 just did the thing and just had his way with me, and I just shuffle up and I'm like, yep, haha, we got to 3-0. This is where I die now.
Games 2 and 3, you managed to squeeze out. Was this like a thought seize on the play, or you just were able
I
being
just
on
got
the
lucky
play?
here.
Okay.
This was just straight up luck. He stocked up to twice, and I thought it was just super dead, and you just never found anything. I was able to put a quick enough clock on him. I think I played a Hogak on turn 2 or 3,
Okay.
and just never had a way to deal with it.
Live by the stock up, die by the stock up, I guess. I mean, you do need a little bit of luck, right, to to win one of these tournaments as well. You can't. You can be the best
skill.
Magic player in the world, and sometimes you get Emmercooled on turn 1 or whatever, and there's nothing you could have really done about it. So, I mean, it's nice when the luck is on your side against a jammy combo deck like Sneak and Show.
Deck choice, player skill, and just flat luck. That was the thing that David was telling me, that you need to have a winning record at Eternal Weekend.
Yep.
And I think I had luck and player skill pretty much maxed out as much as I could have hopefully hoped for.
For sure. I would
deck choice. I feel like people would maybe argue that one, but
I mean, it worked out, dude. If you're good enough and you're lucky enough, it doesn't matter what you play. Maybe.
My game 3 against the Sneak and Show player was really funny though.
What happened?
Because he didn't really do anything for the first couple turns, and I landed a Thought Seize against him. And my board was, I think, Diamond, Eldrazi Spawn, a couple lands, and I Thought Seized him. And he shows me a Sneak Attack, a Show and Tell, and an Emrakul. And it's like, okay, I will take the Sneak Attack here. I'm going to bury the lead a little bit on what's in my hand here at this point. And he goes back over to his turn. I think he felt the pressure of what was happening on my side of the board. And it's like, okay, we have to launch this off here now. We're going to Show and Tell here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, here we go. He flips over his card. It's an Emrakul. And I flip over my card, and it's a Grist the Hunger Tide.
Because it's a creature. Oh my god,
yes.
Dude.
Go to my turn, down ticket, kill it, and he just was never able to get a foothold in the game again after.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. I really, really like that. That's excellent.
I felt the cool guy aura on me after I did that. That was an important match to win there too, because there's something I kind of was thinking about afterwards, after I was on our way back home. This is the matchup that probably dictated whether or not I was in the good side of the bracket, where I knew I was going to be playing against a whole bunch of Forge players, a whole bunch of blue-black players and stuff like that, and whether or not I was just going to keep getting paired into Sneak Attack, Show and Tell, and Mono Red and a whole bunch of stuff like that too.
Yeah, no, that's true, because now you're 4-0. And
yeah,
I mean, when you look at the results of Eternal Weekend, it was those 3 decks, right? Nadu, Forge, Reanimator, for the most part, were the main decks of the format. And now you put yourself into the winner's metagame, where you can actually feed on some of these decks that you prepared for.
It's something I was kind of referring to as the brink, where you get past the brink with a deck like this, you're fine. And the brink is kind of just those decks that are always just going to check people who are not aware of them, or just are just able to snowball people into a losing game state. Sneak and Show is a good example of this. Mono Red's a really good example of this too. Just decks where you can just catch people early.
Yeah, I like this, that this was a pivotal moment in your success, because then we're looking round 5, round 6, round 7, you just roll
Forge
3 more Forge decks and only lose 1 game in 3 rounds. Anything notable about those 3, or it was pretty much just run of the mill? If you saw the John Barber match in the top 8, do you get a sense of how these went?
You can check the Mark Haller one too, because that was also on coverage. And games 1 and 3 kind of played out the same way my game 1 and 3 against John did as well. It's just he had nothing, and I had a couple creatures on board, and he just died because of it.
Right. Oh, I actually got this wrong as well. You lost to Forge in
I lost to it
7.
once
Okay.
the entire weekend. It was a very close matchup too, and he like played it very well. We'll get to that when we get to that though.
Yep. Yep.
But the mid games were really interesting against Mark and John. Mark, where like I think he got an early ring out, and I was just like, okay, this kind of sucks. But then I think I peeled I peeled the Chains of Mephistopheles. And I like giddy with delight with that I got to cast this card on coverage.
Yeah.
And just like, oh god. And it like stuffed the ring for a while. He had like a ring on one that was like slowly chipping him down for the majority of the game, and he didn't really do anything with it.
That's amazing. Can you portable hole a chains? Is that
You
a
can.
legal target? Did he
Mhm.
put your chains in the hole or not?
He could have, but I think I had the backup Force of Vigor in my hand too.
Oh,
So if he goes
nice.
to do it and then activate his ring afterwards, I could just like blow it up, and then just like he's just in the in the chains hole again.
The portable hole. How about the chains hole?
Yeah. Welcome to the chains hole, buddy.
I love it.
All right. Uh, Michael, another Forge player, fortunate enough to make it into top 8 as well. Game 1, he I think made a minor misplay where he like jammed a Karn early into me playing a Pithing Needle on Karn, with the
Okay.
logic of him just like stuffing a Mox Diamond I played early.
Yep.
And then I just got to like Thought Seize him and take away his Forge, which was probably the card that was going to let him run away with the game.
I see. So if they favored advancing their cards rather than stopping your Mox Diamond,
Yeah.
things might have gone differently.
And then he just like flooded out and just didn't do anything, unfortunately. And then game 2, he mulled low and then just like lost because I just got to play the Wasteland button and just got to Wasteland him over and over again. He got to play, I think, one Flesh Raker right into a Smallpox.
Nice.
Usually, a Flesh Raker is like fine into Smallpox. It's just the when you play it with nothing else, it becomes a problem.
Right. Yeah, you have to have that follow-up spell to get your Orc Army token to sack to preserve the permanent that matters, right?
And then Shadow Uni, Nick, the only Forge player I lost to the entire weekend, and it was very, very close. I think if you replayed the scenario over and over again, I probably win this matchup a little bit more than he wins it. But it was like very tight. He won the game at 1 life, and just like
Wow.
I think at any point if I drew anything, I think he was at 1 life. He like passed the turn over to me. If I drew a Smallpox there, he was actually just dead through ring protection too, which was like pretty good. But
That would be so sick. I didn't think of that either. Yeah, just
yeah,
through the protection. You love to see it.
it was like he played a ring, floated the turnover, played another ring, so that way he can draw off his rings to like through Bowmasters, so that way he can like find a winning line.
Yep.
It's just like, again, he's at 1 here too, and it's like once you have the ring on the board, you know you're fine. But it was super tight, and like he even had it set up to where like if it floated back over to his turn again with the rings burn triggers on the stack, he could just like fire off a K command and kill me. Game 2, I think it landed an early Void Mirror, but he had like 3 planar nexuses, so he's just like kind of insulated against that.
That is speaking then to the thing you have to watch out for when you do deploy. The Void Mirror is not a stone cold lock on the game when Mystic Forge also has access to Planar Nexus. That sounds like it kind of your hand lined up poorly against their hand, maybe.
I think I didn't draw really anything else afterwards. I think I just drew like 3 like fetch lands or something, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's unfortunate. Unfortunate thing that happened game 1 against Nick was I played a Rumble. This is the first time, and I hope that's the only time that it'll ever happen to me in my life playing this deck. I played the Malevolent Rumble that flipped over like 4 sorceries.
How many sorceries do we have? A decent amount, but you would like to think you flip over something other than just a sorcery. Yeah, that's unfortunate, dude.
Yeah. It's the one that you need the most that'll let you down the hardest. But it was the only Forge player I lost to that weekend, so I can't complain too hard.
No, for sure. I mean, like, no matchup's perfect, right? I think like I had Artisan Eric Rakowski on talking about his run with Entombs Day And he was saying too, right? Like I played against Forge 5 times. He's like, I went 4-1 against Forge. So, you know, you can't win them all. Forge is a strong deck.
It's something that my friend sometimes says a lot. It's like in like an 80-20 matchup, you're still supposed to lose 20% of the time.
Yep. Exactly. So you are now 6-1 at the end of round 7. There's 2 more
Yes.
rounds left in day 1.
Mhm.
So you've kind of locked day 2 at this point.
Yeah,
So you're
we're
probably
already
feeling
in
pretty
there.
good about that.
And then
Zach,
next match is Tempo, which Demir Tempo is functionally a buy.
do you want to
Blue red's
elaborate
a little
on
bit
why that
different.
is?
Because Demir Tempo is not really a tempo deck in my eyes. It's more of like a mid-range deck.
Yep.
When you look at it, like all the pieces, it's just like, and if they're trying to play like the fair mid-range fair mid-range plan against you, you will beat that every single day, like of the week. Like
Yeah.
their threats line up really badly against you. They have a very low land count, which means like your mana denial is really good against them too.
Smallpox and Ghost Quarter don't care about the basics. Yeah, I can
Yep.
see. Yeah, like
And
they
just
fetch
like,
into like basic island, basic swamp, lose one of their basics to a smallpox, and then have to go like play into your wastelands. Yeah, it does seem very
yeah,
miserable. It does seem very
like
miserable.
the only threat that really lines up well against them against us is Tameo, but your deck is kind of tailored to help you like deal with the Tameo as well. I think
Mhm.
there's something I missed when talking about Wither Bloom Command as well. You can like kill the flip side of a Tameo with that card as too.
Right. I think you might have mentioned that in passing, but I don't think we like really
Yeah,
landed in on it. But
yeah,
that's good to know that when it flips,
that's
you have an answer to it because it becomes a non-land permanent, non-creature,
yeah.
non-land permanent
hmm
specifically.
That costs less than 2.
Absolutely. All the
Get him.
conditions are met. Get wrecked,
And
Tamio.
then my game 1 against Zach here, I think illustrated something that maybe also was part of a factor of my run here as well. No one really knew what I was doing, and were like kind of just letting me get away with stuff that I think that if they had better context of what I was doing, wouldn't have happened.
Okay.
I had a line where I like wastelanded myself to get hatch. Like I forget the full sequence, but it's like I wastelanded myself to get hatchery online to get a couple insects on board, and then just like slam a Hogak, and the entire time he had a spell bomb on board too. So like at any point he like pops the spell bomb there, I'm like my plan doesn't work, but he like I think it was just holding it up for like maybe a loam or something, and just like was trying to like catch me on that one, and then I just like show him the Hogak, and it's like, oh, this isn't great.
Yeah. Oh, on this note, actually, this reminds me of something that I wanted to bring up at some point. So when I was driving down with Troy and Rich, we were listening to the Eternal Glory podcast, the one that they made like before EW. So I think it would have been 2 of their podcasts ago. And there was a really funny line where I think it's like Phil Gallagher or maybe it was Bosch. One of them says like they were using Loam Pox as an example in a statement. That like it was something like no one playing in day 2 needs to be prepared to play against something like Loam Pox. You know, like there was like actually a sentence in it, and I like when I saw you top 8, I like thought back to that sentence, just started laughing my ass off. But there's some real truth to that, right? Like of course you're not going to, like we were just talking about, the 3 best
Right.
decks in the format are Mystic Forge, Nadu, and Reanimator. Like you want to have solid plans going into those matchups and some of the tempo decks and maybe some miscellaneous combo. But no one's got Loam Pox on the radar really. And if you weren't
Right.
like playing on Magic Online in the weeks leading up to the tournament, like there was, I think, post Edges of Eternities, you know, like we started seeing some Loam decks popping up on Magic Online. The same I think can be said about that blue post deck, which is now going around. Like if you weren't playing on
Yeah.
Magic Online, you weren't really prepared or might not even know what to expect when you run into a deck like Loam Pox. And I think that there's a major advantage to be had when your opponent is kind of confused about what's going on, right? Like you can develop pretty good muscle memory to fight against something like Forge or Reanimator, but like as soon as something's not what you prepared for, right, you like put your opponent into a position where you know, some of these heuristics and play patterns that they otherwise might be very comfortable with fall
They just
out
get thrown
of
out the window.
right, yeah, because like you can imagine using your Nihil Spellbomb to stop a Murktide that you're like anticipating to come down in your opponent's upkeep. But like I
Were they
mean,
going to have that heuristics for a Hogak though?
exactly,
For my opponent
exactly.
here, the answer was no.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think just as a point that I think like playing something a bit off kilter has its own advantages, especially when you get into these like higher rounds too, where people are like hyper tuned to beat the best decks, and you're just like,
Yeah,
but I'm
that's 3 spell bombs main. Like he was geared to like play against Reanimator all day.
Yep.
That's
that's
surprise.
a trend. That's a trend I saw as well. I think the second days was often cut for the third spell bomb. Sounds good. Yeah, let's run through the next few rounds, I guess, rather
Breakfast.
quickly.
Great matchup for you. Very, very good. You have both Bowmasters and Witherblink commands and Smallpoxes and Mana Denial. Like they don't get to play the game.
Yeah, bury them.
Yeah.
Bury them in removal spells. Their mana base is like pretty bad, so that makes sense to me that you can capitalize on the strength of your wastelands. Hank Zong, I imagine.
I saw the name. I'm like, cool. This is gonna be good.
He was on Reanimator, yes.
Yeah. Immense. Just like I think this is where it ends here. Energy here on this one, but we did manage to get through there. Game 1, he just showed me why this deck is so good. He just like he did the Entomb into Reanimate, and just like he just fully got me. And just like, yep. And like the fun thing about this point is that I still like. I obviously felt all the pressure coming in. Like I 8-1 with a deck that no one expected to do anything with, and just like that's insane. Like for that alone, I would call that an achievement. I think that's what people would want out of Magic on its own there.
Absolutely.
But then as we're like having dinner and as we're like kind of closing up for the night, I had the cursed thought in my head of like, what if I actually got there with this? What does that feel like? What does top 8ing Eternal Weekend with Loam Pox looks like, and how does that feel? And the answer is it felt really good, Scott.
Yeah, I imagine.
And it's like hard to clout your mind not of that thought, especially when you have to play 6 more rounds at least before you even get to that point.
Yep, this is like really real thing. Like I know at these tournaments, right, that you really have to keep in mind. Like you can be like 9-0 after day 1 and finish 9-6. You know what I mean? Or like
mentality is everything in this.
Yeah,
and I like during the night before day 2, I just like was thinking like, I'm going to win. I'm going to get all this money. People are just going to look at this and just be like, this is insane. I was focusing on the end, not the what I need to do to get to there.
Right.
And that's a scary proposition to go into, which led to me not really sleeping all that well the night before.
That makes sense. I mean, I totally understand that.
It's really just not knowing what to do from here. And Josh pulled through and just said, like, you did the hard part. You got to 8-1 day 1. You just need to cast Smallpox. You just need to cast the card Smallpox now for 6 more rounds, and then you're fine.
Yeah, I think that's similar to my mentality, where sometimes you'll like ask me how I'm doing, like last year, and I was like, oh, I just got to make like 6 more piles, dude.
Yeah.
6 more piles. That's what I focus on. Just one pile at a time, one pox at a time. I feel that. So you sit down, you're against Hank. I imagine alarm bells are sounding in your mind. You're like, oh no, is this how it's going to go?
Top 4 2022 Eternal Weekend. It's like, okay, here we go.
Yep.
He does the Doomsday thing turn 1. It's like, yep, you're showing me why this deck is so good. And I'm just laughing about it. It's like, I just like had the best thing that could happen to you against a very good player, obviously. And I was just like, yeah, we're just going to keep going. It's fine. Game 2, I think I stuck a ley line, and I don't think he really anticipated that because he didn't really do too much else afterwards, and it kind of just like exploded from there. And then game 3 was insane. We didn't really do too much, but I think the games where you don't really do too much and are kind of just like staring at each other, sizing up what you could be doing to each other, that's I think what makes really compelling games of Magic. And it's like the ones that you will just remember moving forward. And this was a game where like I think we both took a mulligan. I think we both thought seized each other. And like he didn't really have that much going on. I didn't really have that much going on. And it just became a staring contest of like, what could happen here. You could like find your entomb here and then just like kind of put me in the dirt here, or I can kind of just like resource denial here and just like set it up so where like I don't lose from that. Like, and there's like I think like 2 or 3 turns where you just like went Drago and just like we're just like figuring out when was the right time to pull the trigger was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I eventually drew an extra land. I think it was a hatchery. I was like, okay, we're like kind of ahead here because I needed to like have a land in play, but I wanted a green source as well. But I had the off-colored fetch land, so I couldn't actually get a forest. I had to get like a bayou or something. But he had a wasteland on board, and I had to like find a way to flush the wasteland out of him so that way I can set up to cast my green spells that game.
I see.
So I drew the hatchery, which is like prime wasteland target right there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get rid of it, otherwise it just like becomes a problem in the mid to late game. Which like let me fire off, I think, a bowmaster on his end step, and then also fetch for a mortuary. So I was all set up there, and then I eventually I think just like was able to just like set up a lock or some way to like kill him from there. And he just like eventually just fell further and further behind. I think he drew his second daze at some point in the game, which at that point doesn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually just culminates to he's kind of just dying on board. He doesn't really have anything else going on. Round timer's running really low. And then as I'm about to close out the game, I draw Mr. Goatman himself, Chains of Mephistopheles. And I like go to cast it, and he just like looks at it. And it's like I tried to start explaining to him, and he's just not having it. He just like fires off both the dazes, and it's like I think I'm already dead here, but I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
And then just like took his next draw and it just like conceded.
Okay. So now you're 9-1.
I'm 9-1
at Eternal Weekend, and it looks like you're about to take 2 losses. So
Yeah.
you pair into Roland Chang, another fucking banger opponent who's been at this for a long time. I mean, to go from Hank into Roland is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of crazy. He's on his Is It Delver, and we're sizing each other up. We're having a great time. Roland's great, by the way. Roland is a great guy.
I've never met Roland, but it's nice to hear that.
He's wonderful. Our opener was just like us both rolling out the Yawgmoth's Will playmats and just being like, we're doing the dueling Yawgmoth's Wills over here.
That's amazing.
And then we get called up for coverage. We're not on main coverage. We're on like kind of like the side area where people can just come up and watch.
Yeah.
Game 1, I pull aside really decisively. This is, I think, the only place where the Game 1 Barrogoyf was relevant. Where I just got to like slam it and he's like, oh no.
Barrogoyf, I mean, I played a lot of Cutter before this event as well, and Barrogoyf was the one card that made me not really want to play Cutter. So I understand
it was that, and then I followed it up with the follow-up Hogak. I don't need to see anymore. Then Game 2, I mulled the 4, unfortunately. It was just like finding hands that didn't really do too much, and it was just like, yeah, this is not really what we're going for here. We played, it's pretty close for a mull to 4 too. I was like, I think like maybe a turn and a half away from like turning the corner and just like being able to set up my stuff.
Okay.
But he just like had an early cut her hand and just like was able to like stave me off and eventually just kill me that way.
Yep. Okay.
And then Game 3, I think I stumble on something. I think I don't really get ahead. And I think he's able to just like pressure me a little bit with like an early Delver or something. And then just like, same thing. He just like plays a Cutter and then just makes a whole bunch of dudes and kills me with them.
Fair enough.
Cutter is very good against this deck.
Yeah, Cutter's strong. I guess the Smallpox isn't as good as well when there's just a number of silly little monks that are quite expendable on the battlefield. I mean, yeah, Roland also plays these decks very well from what I know about him. Mm-hmm. He's I mean, no shame in dropping a match to Roland Chang on Is It Delver. And then you pair into one of my viewers, and I got to meet Zach at this event. He's a really, really nice guy. ZCK was, I believe, the only turbo Doomsday player to make top 32. I think he ended up finishing 30th, so he just snuck in there for his tendrils. Very nice guy. Solid.
Was there another
Doomsday player?
Was there another Doomsday player that made top 32, or was it only him?
So it was ZCK made top 30 on Doomsday, and then Artisan was in the top 8, but he was playing End Doomsday. So he had he had the Doomsday in the in the sideboard.
Okay.
I have a interview similar to this with Artisan, and then we also play a league with his deck. If anyone's interested, it's the most previous videos on the channel. Check that out. But yeah, ZCK was like, he was playing straight up like turbo Doomsday, 3 Street Rays,
Yep.
2 Oracles, a creature pivot. I imagine, like, I mean, you've got good cards in Witherbloom Command, but if the
Yeah, but
Doomsday
I
player
was
can,
kind of out to lunch here on this matchup.
Dark Ritual Doomsday, especially like a
Yeah.
same turn kill. I mean, even he's playing 3 Flusterstorms. Those are pretty good against Smallpox. Yeah. So yeah, I remember actually watching the end of that match, and I was so conflicted about who to cheer
It's like,
for, because I was
my
like,
deck is doing well.
I was like, yeah,
but my
here's one of
buddy-
my viewers that I like saw introduced himself before. He's like doing so well at Eternal Weekend, and then but I'm like, but there's also Jacob Murray, my pal on Smallpox. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? My heart was like being pulled in 2 directions. So yeah, I remember. I mean, I think the 3 of us actually chatted after that match briefly.
Yeah. I'm trying to just like hold it all together. It's like, might be dead here now.
Yeah, because I'm like,
I didn't know what was coming up
dude,
next.
yeah, and I'm actually sorry. Like, I'm looking at your report now, and I'm seeing like you took your 3rd loss here. And I'm
Yeah.
just like goofing around with you after. so what?
It's fine. It's like totally good. It's fine. It didn't matter.
What? Yeah. Clearly. What are you thinking here, though? Because now you're what? You got 3 losses and you took 2 in quick succession. Did you feel the wheels falling off, or how did you end up rallying?
I felt it falling off a little bit. It's just again, it's just like I was kind of in the mindset of like, I'm here to play Pox. I want to play Pox and just fully run this out and just like be happy with wherever I land up here.
Good. I mean,
I
you
think that's
should,
the best way you can
already
approach
being
that.
happy making day 2, like you said. It's like icing on like a tendrils would be icing on the cake, and then a top 4 would be cherry on top. And it seems like you
Right.
had the cake with the icing and the cherry.
Mm-hmm.
So you shake
We had
off
all the fixings,
shake off the loss,
and
to
that mentality was
Doomsday.
probably important going into round 13 here.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Then you're paired against Juju.
full disclosure, I did not know who this guy was going into.
Okay. Yeah, Juju's
round, so
one
that
of the
probably
most
helped out a lot.
damning players you could get paired against on Magic Online. I played against him a bunch of times before, and I think most times it doesn't go too well for me.
One of the boons of not being a Moto player. It's like, it's kind of just like whooshes right over your head.
Yeah.
It was like one of my more decisive wins against Reanimator 2. It was just like, I think game 1 he just didn't really get to do anything. I think I got an early spell bomb too, and he was just like kind of like pinned behind that, and then I just like, I think I was able to like resource it. Again, no tournament notes here, so like it's a little bit fuzzy.
No, that's all right.
And then game 2 he like entombs early, but I think I snipe his reanimation spell, so he's like kind of just like stuck there on just like attracts in the bin, and just like he can't really do anything. And eventually gets to a board state where I get a spell bomb on board, and just like set up to like have like constructs, I think, at some point. But he also gets a Murktide on board as well, and we have like a little bit of a staring contest there, and just like I have a couple constructs, but he also has I think like a 6/6 Murktide or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then just as I like recurring of Saga and like getting set up to do that again, he goes to his turn, and then he goes to reanimate my Grist that got milled over at some point earlier in the game.
Okay.
And he's at like 8. He's at 9. He goes to 6 off of that. And I'm in my head, what he wants me to do here is he wants me to crack a spell bomb on myself here, so that way he can just like slam another reanimate and just like get the Atraxa back and start clawing his way back from this game.
Yep.
But I'm like, okay, what's actually that bad about him having the Grist here? He like sets up for a couple turns, so that way he can eventually start racing my constructs, which I don't think it gives me a lot of time. I think it's just like it's not something that's like conducive to just like winning the game on its own, like right on the spot. So I was like, okay, this is fine. I don't think I need to worry about this. So we have the Grist on board. He ticks up, gets an insect. He passes over. I draw a Smallpox, as one does. So I attack with 2 of my constructs. I think I had like another creature or 2 on board as well. He blocks one of my constructs in a way where it doesn't kill the Murktide, and then he like chumps with the other one with the insect token he made, and then I just like slam a Smallpox against him, and it's just like, Okay, we're so set up now.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
That's the turning point.
It's interesting to use your creatures in that scenario to like kind of like quasi set up the edict on Pox efficiently.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's
Yeah.
another good thing for people probably to recognize is within the like realm of things that you can do when you're playing this
Yeah.
deck for sure.
Edifects have been like kind of mid in the format for a while now, so it's just like it's cool that the big one is like very good and playable.
So you dispatch of Master Juju Bean, and then you
Yep.
take out another Forge opponent in round 14.
This one was interesting. He actually knew some of our Legacy of the North crowd as well. He knew Dawson and Edgar.
Oh,
So-
cool. Cool.
And Fred.
Fred. I miss Fred.
Frederico.
Shout out.
I miss him so much.
Shout
too.
out to Dr. Prado. What a master. For those of you who don't know, he's a local player who played Legacy but recently moved back to Brazil. So we all miss Fred. Our hearts hurt, and we hope that he's enjoying his Diet Cokes in Brazil. And Dawson and Edgar,
Yeah.
I mean, are two fantastic Magic players who play on the Pro Tour, who also play at our local shop sometimes. So it's always a pleasure when they come out to to battle with us.
Exactly. When they get to bow down to us, mere mortal. Like when we get to bow down to them.
Exactly. So Justice Right
On Forge, and you get to hear it again. I just pressed the Wasteland button against it.
Fair enough.
This is a very crushing matchup on our side of the board. We just get to like have full access to just like resource denying them, like to the point where like just like you just get to like Besage their lands and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They only run like a couple needles and like they can only do so much.
All right. Sounds like you got it. Got it good.
Yeah,
Win in 2. Then you get paired. So you're X3 going into the last round. Do you know that this is a win in? Like you did I assume someone did the math with you. You had like Dave Liver or someone.
Yeah, we were like
kind
of looking at the math. I think I kind of just assumed as well. And looking at the record going into round 15, it was just like I think I was the 8th seed. I think this was very much like you win this matchup, you're in. You can't draw this.
Right. You also have like a lot of the players, like I think Hank Zong, Roland Chang, they're both playing win-in-ins here too. Larson beats Roland Chang to get into the top 8 on Breakfast, and then my buddy Artisan Eric on Entombsday, I believe, beat Hank Zong in one of what he said was one of the craziest matches of Magic he's ever played in his life to get into the top 8. And so like it seems like your breakers are. That was one thing that that Artisan was saying, that Roland Chang is one of the main reasons he was put into a position to have a win-in at X3, because he had played against both Goddick and Chang in the event. So yeah, I imagine that your tiebreakers were pretty good based off the quality of players that you were playing against as well. Yeah.
So
did you
I
want
think the
to
tables was
quickly watch
yeah,
a little
if you
bit
want
of
to,
this?
I think we're good. I think
yeah, let's do
review my
that. So this was
magnum opus.
I asked Jacob about if he wanted to watch any of the games, and this was the one that Jacob brought to mind here. So
yeah, I have not seen this either since it happened, but this was a bloodbath on my side of the board here.
Okay.
All right. My opponent's on Cradle Control. I am obviously on Pox.
Yep.
And he leads off with the traditional. He does. Present the card to see if you know what it does. And this is exactly what I want here. I think I just have the dream set up here. I'm just doing that. Okay. No, it's a little bit worse than that, but.
Witherbloom command, killing the ignoble hierarch. Also, if you want me to pause anywhere here as well, I'm gonna mute the coverage.
Yeah. I think I just go like would have wanted that smallpox there, but we find the Hogak there, which is very good.
Wonderful.
For reasons that should be very apparent next turn. So I just killed his dork. Like if you can like make a natural developing play against Cradle where you get like kill their dork early, it's fine. If you're like expending like an actual removal spell on like their turn 1 dork, it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
But here it was just like a very natural thing where I just got to like set up, and then just like get to do the other thing that Loam Command does well.
Yeah, that seems like a great. You return to Wasteland too, right?
Yeah. Quick pause here.
Yep.
Would like to say there is a lot of levity going into this matchup on both sides of the table here too. Like this is obviously for top 8. This is a lot of money that's just being set here, just playing this game.
Yep.
I feel it. I think he's feeling it too. I think before the match even starts is like I tell him like I might be a little bit quiet here. This is just going to be like a lot for me to process right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been in a position like that in a big tournament like this. I can imagine the weight of the world kind of feels like it's pushing on your shoulders. So
yeah. If there was a point to feel, it'd be right here.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. The
going
winning
here.
in. The winning in.
Yep. You play to win, you play to be in. Plays a White Other Reliquary. And I obviously know that if this card gets to untap, it's annoying. It's
Right.
a very good Magic card. It's just in this context, it's not going to matter too much here.
One you know really well too. Like, I mean, it's probably like there must be some consolation for you getting paired against Cradle Control, right? Having spent so much time understanding how the deck works, like there would be very few, if any, surprises for you, right? You kind of probably know exactly what you have to play around, exactly what you have to do on your end. It's kind of like when my opponent plays Doomsday against me, and then I look at their exile pile, and I'm pretty confident I know roughly what they have in their pile, barring anything wild going on, right?
It's like a shared knowledge that you have with your opponent.
Exactly.
So here we get to Fatal Push this. The main thing is like you don't want a white to untap. That's when stuff gets a little bit annoying. They just get to like sit there and just like I think it's oh no, I need to crack the Spellbomb here because of what's about to happen next. I don't think I need to do that.
So what is sorry, why do you say you might?
I'm trying to get like fuel in the graveyard for a Hogak. This is a turn 2 Hogak here.
I see.
And I know his deck. Yeah.
I got you.
I think I didn't need to crack the Spellbomb there, but I think I just did anyway.
Oh, and so you wasteland yourself.
Yes.
On the hatchery to get the insects to make the.
I'm going to be waiting here for a little bit. I'm trying to find the black insect tokens, but they don't have them.
So this hatcheries from a commander set, right? We were talking about this the other night. And so like the only way you have these tokens is if you bought this commander deck.
If you bought the free, which like no one did, obviously.
Yep.
And then we're just gonna present the deck here, and then we're just going for it. This is a turn 2 Hogak against the deck that I know does not have a good answer to this once it's on board already.
What is the best, like, do they have anything besides, like, they can phase it out? Like,
they can phase it out. I think it's like chump block with a decent amount of creatures, but like that's it.
Damn.
I think the idea was maybe I wanted to keep those in my graveyard. I think that's why I maybe sacked the hatchery there, sacked the Spellbomb there too. I'm desperately trying to find the flying token.
No one was anticipating this. So I have to give Anurag shit for not bringing along some flying insect tokens.
Yeah, where are my flying insect tokens, man? All right. Looking at his hand here, he's got nothing to deal with this. Like,
yeah, the snuff out too. Oh man, dude, that's rough.
Yeah.
And you bombed him, so this guy's like super small as well.
Yeah, let's get in for 10. And then I think I find a Thoughtseize here as well. Which, in theory, his next turn just going like Ignoble Hierarch, play the thing, is like good. But I just get to rip that option out of his hand too.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to like stall for at least like a turn or two with that. And then I think I can't see what that other card was, but it's another land, which is not. If it's a fetch land, it's maybe good enough. But
is it a curator? Yeah.
Yeah,
that card's cool.
Card's very good. I like that card.
It gets big very fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he's seen enough. It's like I think the most aggressive line I think it took that entire weekend.
Oh, that's awesome. So I guess if you are Jacob, what are you doing here? Since we
What am I
have a
doing here on his side of the board?
control player here who's also a Pox player, we might as well make use of your
You take out your
expertise.
thought seizes here. The thought seize is like kind of mid against me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really atrocious top deck in a matchup where top decks matter a fair bit.
Yep.
You have the natural order package. You maybe how many dorks is he on? I think that's a good question.
4
and a couple nobles.
Yeah, I don't know how
Maybe
many nobles
shave
there are
them.
there, but
You maybe shave a couple of those. They're like bad into the bowmaster effects.
right. And then you want like endurance, maybe?
Endurance, wasteland, and then as many needles as you can fit in afterwards. He
Okay.
brought in crop rot against me too. So
Okay. There's 4 needles in the sideboard. That's wild.
he has a lot of needles.
Bro is pithing. I love it.
I think the standard list that like Newton's on has like a couple needles and then like a saga to tutor form afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense with your rotate creatures. But
Yep.
if you're on 4, just run 4, and then just you probably don't want to get. Maybe he evaluated the needle a little bit differently. You can like fetch basics in this matchup.
Yeah.
So like maybe it's not that insane. I'm trying to think of the other things that it catches.
I guess we got your deck viewed now, so
I guess like
Grist. Yeah.
If he was anticipating a Grist, but the problem is there if he's also on Grist, then he's like shutting that down too.
Right.
So, and like the same thing with Wasteland, he shuts down his Wasteland if he does that.
Yep.
So maybe he evaluated the card a little bit differently than I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, makes sense. What about you? Yep. What are you bringing?
What am I taking out here?
Yeah, what are you taking out?
I'm trying to remember here. I think I took out Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize seems not amazing here.
Mm-hmm.
Same reason for his side of the board.
Yep. You bring in Fatal Push, Toxic Deluge, and Barragoy for something?
Push, Deluge, Goyf, that all sounds right. There's one extra cut. I think I cut a Bowmaster, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
It's like of the creature removal effects in the deck, it's the least high impact against this shell.
Right, and you are bringing in more targeted removal for things like whites in the form of Fatal Push, and then the Deluge as well. Yeah, I like that. Mm-hmm. It makes sense to me. Alrighty.
Leaving all the bangers and then just go from there.
Absolutely. Ooh. Look at this cam. Man, Honorog is just a master.
Yeah. He kept in Thoughtseize against me, which is interesting. Maybe on the play he like chose to do something different, but
yeah. Again, this is like deja vu, the Grand Prix Forest into Noble Hierarch. Good old Mock Simon, signed by Dan Fraser. Love to see it.
I got the 4th one last year, and I got it signed by him too, and it looks so good.
Yeah, I got my Chrome Moxes for Saga Storm signed by him, so I like it. Mm-hmm. Dan Fraser's a great guy.
He was looking really good this weekend too.
He was.
This Eternal weekend too. Yeah, good to see him in good health.
Absolutely.
I'm playing something on turn 2 here. I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't know if I'm like killing that early. I think I'm trying to make sure the thing doesn't die, or maybe I don't know what's going on there.
That's amazing.
Don't tap the glass, Jacob. What are you doing? Rumble. Okay, Rumble's fine. I thought if I had like a very similar setup to, yeah, there it is. I think I should take the Barragoy here.
Excuse me.
I don't know if you caught that or not.
I didn't. Sorry, I was like turning away from the mic to cough. I'm gonna go back.
All good. I was this close to slamming a Pokemon card on the board as my token for the spawn.
I'm gonna
when I cast the Rumble.
All right. They're like wrong game.
Yeah. No, I remembered as I was like about to put it on the board, and it's like, no, I can't do that. Rumble's good here too, especially knowing that there's Barragoyfs in the deck because it guarantees I have at least 3 mana to go off of that when I fetch the basic.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Take Barragoyf, bin the rest, say go. Act like that did not happen.
That's amazing. This looks like good deck building. Ramping into Barragoyf for putting it into your hand. You love to see it.
Yeah.
Wasteland, nothing
Wasteland
to a basic.
Doesn't do too much. The thing I will say about this deck too, it plays pretty well into like your opponent potentially having a Wasteland too. most of your stuff is like kind of annoying to get wastelanded anyway. Like you wouldn't voluntarily wasteland a hatchery that has like a couple of counters on it, right? Like,
Right. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. I imagine like
yeah,
Saga's the one I would want to hit the most, probably.
right. But like your mana is like relatively insulated as well.
Yeah, and if I'm like
Like
wastelanding your Saga, I'm putting myself back on mana against a Pox
I think we're
deck.
just jamming here. I think we should jam the thing here.
The big G.
Yeah. There's a consideration. I'm holding up the Fatal Push. That's interesting. Play Baragwave, and a turn you cast Endurance. It's fine. It's currently an 0-1 right now, which is like this build of it can't really capitalize on the Baragwave being an 0-1, so it's kind of whatever. If there's like Bowmasters or something that gets a little bit spooky, but
Right.
I am holding up the Fatal Push too, so I'm not like completely hosed by it.
Oh yeah, you can just push in response. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
You're gonna see that being relevant on this board state. Play another one of these. So I think the insanity happens not this turn, but next turn.
Okay.
He's stuck on a he doesn't have a black source here, unfortunately.
No.
So he's like sitting on a white and a Thoughtseize for like a while.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate for Jacob for sure. Oh, you're both named Jacob.
Yeah, that's the other thing here. I surveil. I think that's another Fatal Push. And I don't want to attack here, obviously. I'm not really doing too much. I think I'm just big chilling here. I think
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to push anything. I think he draws in another Endurance here. I think that's the next pickup. And you're about to watch the sploinkiest thing that'll ever happen in a Magic game ever.
This is your favorite part of the weekend?
This is insane. Think I don't like TJ kind of just like walked past the camera there. Everyone's watching me. Josh is like grandstanding me right now too. He hits me for 5. I take it. I think I marked that wrong actually. Did I mark that wrong?
I don't
I
know.
might have marked that wrong. But here we go. We full get in here. And he sets up to play another Endurance. Yeah, he just goes for it. It doesn't matter which graveyard he tucks here.
They're both the same.
He just
Yeah.
needs to tuck a graveyard. And then he goes to block. Four damage. I fetch. Doesn't really matter what I'm fetching here. I just need to turn on Revolt for my Fatal Push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Force is
Oh,
fine.
you're gonna push the tapped Endurance, right?
Yes. So that
Love
way
it.
there's a creature in the graveyard and a instant in the graveyard. So they're both 3/4s. My 3/4 has Death Touch. He loses this exchange.
That's nice.
But it gets so much better here too. I have to pay for it. Pay for it, forehead. Come on. So he lets that go through. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now you would think that's a very good play here, but my opponent has something he would like to interject into there with that as well.
Oh,
He's really mulling us over. This is like a pivotal turn here.
It's got crop rotation for Bajuka Bog,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yep.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, that's fine. So this also opens up an interesting line here too. He gets his black source here for his black spells.
Right. Yeah,
So,
this
like-
is sick. I haven't watched this
Yeah.
match, so this is exciting.
So get your Bajuka Bog here. I think that's actually not how that spell resolves. I think like I don't know. I think it is probably in the graveyard once it's in there. I think he targets himself here. So the Goyf goes back down to being a 2/3. Which means I trade in this exchange, but I'm not like aggressively up here.
Yeah,
So
it
he
would
bogs
resolve
himself.
that way, right? Because the Bajuka Bog
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
into play, which triggers the exile, and at that point,
Yeah.
the rotation's in the graveyard.
And then I just fatal push another. And then it goes back to being an even trade.
Damn, dude. Yeah, the double push. That's great.
The double push was brutal.
That's great.
He gets a white here, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was just a massacre there. And then you just play some stuff.
That's just a 1-2.
You go to my turn, and I think no hesitation. Just I think for a second here, I attack because if I'm forcing him to trade his white here, it's like very good for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's in my hand here though. Might be a Bowmaster. Yeah. It's like a lot of his progress that he made this game just like evaporated with that fatal push interaction.
Yeah, that was a sweet turn.
Another ignoble. So the thing I have to worry about here now is Natural Order. That's the card that kind of just gets me here.
Yes.
I don't think I know that yet because I was not playing Natural Order when I was playing Cradle.
Right, yeah, that was like a lot of the recent Cradle decks have actually swapped off of Natural Orders just in favor of a value plan, right? Like that's what I remember about your deck at least.
It's just like there was a lot of a lot of Force of Will in the format, so just like trying to jam a Natural Order in a format full of Force of Wills is like not great.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to be doing
here. He gives me okay. All right, yeah. I was like, why? I'm either not casting this card because it's like a Bowmaster and I don't need to worry about it yet, or it's a Hogak that I couldn't cast.
It's just the big avatar. Oh, beautiful. Bowmaster
beautiful.
off the top.
I unfortunately don't have enough stuff in my graveyard.
True.
I have 4, I think, in my graveyard.
Damn, all those endurances paying out.
Yeah, so it did matter, but by how much is like kind of like up in the air.
Yeah.
And I also get the stall here for a couple turns too. Like if he's trying to chip me down with the Reclaimer, desperately trying to find my tokens that are not my tokens. Yeah, there we go. But I try going for it and then I realize I can't. Yeah. Uh-oh, Jacob, what are you doing?
That's all right. It's been a long day.
That too. Like, I think he peels an Uat here. Yeah, like consulting the bones here a little bit.
Yeah.
He finds a Keen Eye Curator, which is really scary if he gets to untap with it. Because that means I don't get a Hogak anymore.
Right.
And that could probably single-handedly get away with the game. But he doesn't have the mana to play it right away, so it is what it is. And I really start mulling over this, and then I draw the best card in my deck. And I'm really mulling over this and just like trying to think of like, what do I do to get this Keen Eye Curator out of your hand? This is potentially really bad for me here. How do I return this? I'm really thinking about it, but in reality, I should just be casting the card in my hand, which is Smallpox. Because Smallpox gets the Curator out of his hand at this point. And then I realize it. I think the tension there was like I would lose a creature to cast the Hogak.
Right. That tension definitely just manifested in my own mind while I was pondering here along with you. So,
and I realized, I can just like get this problematic card out of his hand here. And even if I'm losing this here, like you are still very behind.
Mm-hmm.
Even on this board state.
Wow.
Do I start attacking here? I do. Hell yeah.
Get frisky with that work archer, dude.
Yeah. All right, his turn. He finds another. Yep. I think I eventually find like a Saga and close out this game. That shows him that. Just like want to fetch land here, I guess.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how much of a grind still remains after that pivotal endurance fatal push turn.
Mm-hmm. Just about like clearing out the rest of these turns as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If I found another Bowmaster here, I probably just would have been slamming it. But what is my hand here at this point? I can't remember.
You're keeping it close to the table.
Oh, he traded his Dryad for the Bowmaster, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, fascinating.
Yeah. maybe if I was thinking a little bit more of it, I probably would have caught that. But I think that's like a fair trade on my end there. And then we're attacking with 1/1s now. That's very good.
Oh, and there's the
Fight
Saga.
play
Yeah.
Saga, yeah.
Yep. I love this graveyard just encroaching onto your onto your battlefield, dude.
Yeah. I chose an interesting way to like display. Yeah, there we go. I fixed it.
Oh, I love it. I remember thinking that when I was watching one of your other games. I was like, oh, this is like. I guess you did say earlier that you bought some LEDs and played Dredge at one point in your life, so it's a very Dredge thing to do. Wow.
Oh, we find the other one too. Oh, he's so dead.
Yeah, this is the
it's
Saga
just a mopping
train.
up like exercise at this point.
Urza's Saga is such a
and
card.
then yeah, I don't know if you saw his hand there or not.
I did not. What was in it?
Natural Order Atraxa.
Fascinating. Yeah, that's like
yeah. I know. He's just like
he's smiling too. That's unfortunate. That's like the Dread Return, the Gaia's Will, like
yeah.
You draw the card you don't want in your hand. That's the price you pay for playing with the Natural Order, I guess.
Yeah. It's a really big pain point for playing those decks.
Man.
At least in the Saga builds, you can like still kind of cast those cards if you draw them by accident. But
for sure.
Here we're just like,
yeah. So you just kind of roll them with constructs. I guess
I just start kind of just getting them here. I think this is probably a good point to
pause out. The boots come down, and
I have another one on the way.
Bob's
I think
your
he
uncle,
actually casts the Natural Order here. He casts the Natural Order here. I think he gets a white or something, but it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I even think if he didn't draw the Atraxa there, I think he was still in trouble. Because that's like 4, and you get another 3, so that's 7. That trades with the Atraxa anyway, right?
Yep.
So
madness. Yeah, that was an exciting game to watch, for sure. Wow.
All right.
So what's going on in your head here? Well, you can wrap this up very briefly.
All right.
So you just won your winning in.
Yeah.
Against...
It was obviously a very somber moment after I got there. Looking at my opponent, it's like, good games. You did really well, obviously. And I'm really happy for you. And then just try to be as quiet and silent about it as possible. And then once we cleared the stage, I just walk over to the boys and just say, let's fucking go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jacob Murray.
I think the Legacy of the North Strat was barking at me.
I'm sure they were. Yeah, those guys. I mean, I know those guys. They like to have a good time. So you pair into John Barber in the top 8 then. I mean, obviously a solid player. He was in the top 8 last year on Mystic Forge as well.
And wearing the Legacy of the North.
Oh, dude, yeah. Now you're donning the hat.
Yeah.
Getting some of Jim Monolith's head lace. I love it.
That's the hat that Kelvin was wearing when he won Eternal Weekend.
Is it the same hat that Kelvin was wearing?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool story. I like that Legacy of the North lore right there, dude.
We're already on game 2 here.
Are we? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, did they just go
game
in?
1, yeah.
They didn't show the first
They were covering the other matches too.
Right. Okay, so what happens in game 1 and 2 that anyone watching didn't see?
Game 1, it's just I played a Wasteland and recurred it a whole bunch, and he just didn't have the needle. It's just it's the standard. It's the bread and butter that got me to where it was this weekend.
Okay.
He didn't really have a good answer for it, and then he just died.
As you've said at least 3 or 4 times already, you pushed the Wasteland button.
Yeah. I think I burned something that I didn't need to, and just I couldn't optimally Wasteland them and then loam back my Wasteland. I forget exactly what it was, but here we just get to get to shuffle up all nice and well.
Dude, yeah. So we we timed this perfectly. I was on the drive home, and we had to charge Troy's Tesla, so we were stopped at a charging station. We just had this on the Tesla screen. We were just watching you destroy John Barber, just cheering you on. It was awesome, dude.
Pretty sure the take here is Monolith. Anything else seems kind of wonky.
Yeah.
I think
Clunk
I
them
only
out.
consider taking something else if I am concerned they like just draw another one.
Right.
Like I would maybe like even there, like I wouldn't take another Tezzeret. Like I wouldn't take 2 Tezzeret. Like if he has 2 in his hand already.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a
probably, like, the
safe
card.
bet. Like the way the hand is textured, you have a Wasteland out already. Like,
Yeah.
you have
Have
a
the Loam
Loam in the
already, too,
graveyard.
like-
Like, how are they ever going to
Yeah.
put one of those into play?
They have 2 mana here, and I don't think they'll ever have like another one again after. Oh, I forget the Loam here. I think that's what it was. Yeah, and I
Right.
just realized it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to Loam there. I like Wasteland them, Loam, get Wasteland. Like, I think I put a dice on top of my deck here too, so I don't forget again.
Good call.
Because yeah, I have to burn the Haywire might here on the Saga. I attack for 1 first, but yeah, if I set that up properly, I get to wake Wasteland, Loam, Wasteland, and just like I don't have to lose the might.
Right.
But
I mean,
like
still,
here, this is still pretty gross.
Still gross for sure. And you still have the mana to cast the Loam next turn because of the Mox Diamond. So
Yeah.
I love how chill
Please tell me-
John Barber is. Like, I'm just watching John Barber a little bit. Like, he
Yeah.
just like is not phased by having
Having nothing.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm
Yeah.
chewing my gum. I'm having a good time. Yeah, I love
Is
it.
how is like Soulguide Lantern? I do remember to put the dice there. Let's go.
Absolutely. Don't want to forget that Loam twice.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not making that mistake again. My boots, my grist, another Wasteland.
This
Yeah,
is.
we're just going in here.
I remember watching this, just thinking, this is disgusting.
Yeah, like Wasteland, Verdant, Wasteland, you go. Like
Oh,
Mox
wow.
Diamond, Wasteland, you go. Oh my god.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh, what was my hand? What the?
Bro, you must have drawn one of the. Did you draw Mox Diamond off the Forgotten Loam? Or something?
Maybe.
Like that.
I think something to that accord.
This just shows the power of Mox Diamond in this deck, too. Like
Yeah.
you just like.
I can like
Played a
tax
bunch of
myself here. If I cast a Pox here, like it doesn't matter. I think I like evaluate that I don't need another Wasteland here at this point. I just like pick up the Saga. I just need to start clocking.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow you like. I don't know, Wastelanded your opponent while like double rampant growthing. It's so sick.
Yeah, get back the Loam. Just keep going. I probably just make sure I have the Wastelands in my hand, and like set up for another turn here, or just go in, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saga, Wasteland.
Is there
Like, what do you do here?
Yeah, I don't. That's what I was just about to ask. Like, what could you possibly draw? Poor John Barber. Wow.
And like I just start playing the reflexive Wastelands here, and just like
Mm-hmm.
if you play anything now, I'm just like already ahead of you.
Yep.
Like before it even goes back to your turn. I don't get to clock immediately with like a whole bunch of damage because I did mill over the boots, but like it's like
At this
functionally over here.
point, yeah. Yeah, this is like Reed Duke being like, I think this might be a flawless victory for for Jacob Murray. It's like, yeah, it looks pretty flawless to me. No permanence. Too bad you couldn't like tutor up a Mind Twist just to take all the cards out of his hand too before you swung in for lethal.
Hey, come on! I thought you said you didn't want to do ban discussion.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Mind Twist. Yeah, this is gross, dude. I think this was like the first game that I saw you play with the deck as well, because I was like driving back during the winning in. And so I was like, yeah, watching this on coverage, and it just like kind of dawned on me. I'm like, oh, now I understand how this deck like crushed Forge all weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome.
This is obviously like the extreme example of this. But
What do you name with Needle here?
I think I named Soulguide Lantern.
Okay, as I remember
that was the name.
joking in the card that you named "You Are Already Dead," which is the name of a Magic card. But kudos to you for hitting everything.
Yeah. And I think he's just I think this is where he draws his next card, and yeah.
There we go. There's the handshake. So now
I
you're
didn't need to beat
going into the top 8. Here's my
top
boy,
4.
or top 4, sorry. My boy Artisan about to get dispatched by Hans.
Yeah. Again, if there was a person to get dispatched by, it's probably him.
Yeah,
Uh,
Hans is probably one
so
of the best players to play Legacy, I would think, in the world. Is there anything you wanted to talk about briefly before we
start wrapping it up.
yeah, I kind of want to watch. Let's because I think
Yeah.
learning is really important, right?
Yeah.
And you did. I mean, I don't want to just like watch you get crushed by Hans, but like,
I
is
would love to
there?
do that, honestly.
Let's do that, and maybe like with an
I like
eye
analyze some points
to
and rules are kind of a
learning,
problem.
right? Like, is there anything you could have done differently? Maybe have you watched this match back yet?
I was there, but I've internalized what I think I did wrong there, and kind of just like, yeah, like this is probably how I want to like structure my plays against blue black moving forward.
Okay.
But before we go there, there's a fun little anecdote about Forge in general that was happening.
For sure.
So when I was playing Cradle Control, Josh was like consistently hammering it in, like, oh, like you don't need to worry about beating the best Forge players when you're playing Cradle Control. You just need to beat the bad one. You need to beat the bad Forge players,
Yep.
and just like you're probably not getting paired like against like super high end representatives of the deck when you're playing Cradle. You just need to like beat the average Forge player, which will like probably make a couple mistakes here and there, and like you're probably fine.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're obviously getting like an overrepresentation for this matchup because you're playing against someone who top 8'd with the deck.
Yep.
Cut to here, where I not only beat Forge 4 out of the 5 times I played against it in the Swiss, but I also just beat arguably the best Forge player in top 8.
Yeah. Yeah, you beat John, and then you also beat Michael, who also top 8'd on Forge.
Yes. Yeah.
Like in the Swiss. So yeah, you certainly were playing against, and clearly
The
like
best Forge
Justice.
players.
Clearly, Justice Wright's a great Forge player too, right? Like
Yeah.
being,
He made that deep of a run with it. Like,
exactly.
he has to be.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, yeah, you decisively dispatched with these players, and now you have to face.
now I get to die.
Now you get to die by HJ Kaiser's sword.
Yep.
And anytime you pair into HJ Kaiser, you're just like, oh no. And I think even in
Here
the
we
coverage, Reed Duke is just like, you know, like they were like asking like about the matchup. And I think Reed like goes on this sentence where he's like, you know, like I actually don't mind Jacob's position against Reanimator. And then Reed's like, but he's playing against HJ Kaiser on Reanimator, and that might change things a little bit. Did you know who he was when you were sitting down against him here?
Not really, but like you're sitting at the top table at Eternal Weekend. I'm going to assume that you're good at this game.
Mm-hmm.
David's just like looking over and just like full disapproval as well.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. I don't really.
For sure. Yeah, like before I went to like my own Eternal Weekends, I've only been to 2. I used to always watch EW. And I always remember seeing like HJ's like on coverage, always doing well at these events. I think he has the second most top 8s next to Bosch out of anyone in the history across both Eternal formats. So
there is GOAT argument to be made for Eternal Weekends with this man.
Absolutely.
And they're very validated.
Absolutely.
You don't get to see it here. We had the point where we're looking at each other's deck lists and figuring out what we wanted to do with the information for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just get like a full like 5 or so minutes of him just like grimacing looking at my deck list, and it's very good.
That's amazing. So you definitely
like,
he wasn't intending to fight against Eumidian Hatchery in the top 4 of Eternal Weekend. That's for sure.
Exactly. He's just like, oh, these are all rotten cards. He didn't say that obviously, but it was just very much like, oh, I have to play against this now. Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, I imagine he was trying to devise some kind of game plan about how to approach the match, and
the insane part is he did. He fully analyzed every part of my deck list and was just like, okay, this is what I need to do here to not lose. And I think we get to witness that this game too.
Yeah. All right. So let's witness it, and then you can describe, because I remember having a conversation with you a couple weeks ago after EW about the match and what you felt Hans did differently than some of your other opponents. Okay, so we're starting out with, as you said, one of the best turn 1 plays in the format here. Thoughtseize from Kaiser. And you have the spell bomb in your hand too in game 1. That's
Spell bomb's in the opener. I think he counters it, but I could be wrong. I think.
Does he take diamond? What does he take? Smallpox? I don't.
I can't remember. I think it might be smallpox. He's just really just looking at it. No, I think I cast a smallpox some point in the game. I just like it might be diamond. He takes spell bomb.
Takes spell bomb.
So I think that lets me know what his intentions are here. I think I just wasteland him here on turn 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of just like try to like dictate the tempo of this game. It's like you functionally just took a turn off here. And then I just
play the Mox diamond around days. I like that.
Yeah. So the thing he prioritizes here more than I think anything else, should make sure he is in a scenario where he's like not fully hellbent on not having mana.
Right.
Because you saw him peel the island there. I think he's just like he's good to go, even if he does get wastelanded again here or smallpoxed.
And this is like a neat play too, right? To play out the sewers with the island in hand.
I think there's
because
blood
he knows
in the water
about
here.
he knows about your smallpox.
And then I fire this off.
Yeah.
Like there's like blood in the water here in my eyes. Part of it too is like my round 3, like game 3 against John. He had nothing on board. I would like to replicate that again and just get him. So it's just like, you just played a surveil land against me? Okay, we're good to go here.
Yeah, whereas like there's like the other flip side of that is that it's actually a show of strength on Hans' point, right? Because he's like playing the tapped land, probably making you think that there's no better land in his hand to play when he has the island in the wings. I don't know if that like I remember thinking that when I was watching this, being like crazy. Because usually you're like, yeah, like a surveil land is like one of the
usually
worst
it's a
things
point
you
of
can
desperation,
play, right? Yeah.
But he's just completely fine with it.
Just unfazed.
Yeah, like he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I get rid of my grist. Maybe that's part of a mistake there too. Just like letting him have a reanimation target in the mid game.
Right. So I thought that as well when I was watching. I was like, huh. So I don't know what else was in your hand there. That was one of the things
I think it was just the most expensive thing in my hand there too. Like.
Right. Okay. So it's kind of like you keep it in your hand. You can't play it. He can't reanimate it. But then you just have a dead card in your hand. You mentioned earlier today that like you just let Juju Bean take a grist when you could have even spellbombed because you didn't think it had that much of an impact on the game. So maybe it's like not the worst to dump that.
On this board state, it's probably a little bit different. Like I'm not really doing that much here too, like regardless in terms of like putting a clock on him.
Right. So this potentially could have been a misplay.
It could have been something else, but
it's
I don't know. I think I didn't have the third land to cast it. I think that's why I justified that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he ponders here.
That makes sense too. And then I think does he see the Murktide here that will eventually
that's the win
kill
condition
you
there.
Yeah.
And like if he was like sandbagging another land there, he just gets to like slam it next turn. Like it's not great for me. And like the argument here is I could have sandbagged the smallpox and catch a Murktide with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I maybe conditioned myself a little bit too much to think he had nothing really else going on.
Yeah, and I think he also like Thoughtseized and took your Nihil Spellbomb on turn 1, right? Which like as you I think rightly identify, that should be a sign to you that he's got Entomb Reanimate in his hand.
Yeah, I need to like stop that from happening as much as possible if I can help it.
And maybe even like I'm sure from Han's perspective too, it was like that was what he wanted to play toward. But then the Ponder shows the Murktide, and then he's like, oh, looks like I'm pivoting. And that showcases the power of Dimir Reanimator as well.
Yeah. I think I tried casting this. I think he maybe forces this here. Feels like he just has like a million cards in his hand too at this point too. And just like, all right, I guess he just lets me have a Wasteland. I don't think that really does anything. Maybe Hatchery is your best pickup here. Maybe you take the Wasteland. Yeah. I think like a Saga or something, but like you're not really doing anything past that point.
Yeah.
Takes another, yeah, and he like finds his land, and here we go.
Here's the dragon. If he has force, you hold it for the smallpox on the dragon as well, right?
Yeah. Looking at his hand, I think there's like maybe 2 more cards in there, maybe 2 or 3. That's where the force would be if he had it, but I don't even know if he had it, which maybe is supposed to mean I'm supposed to wait on the smallpox. Because smallpox answers that pretty clean, and I even have the extra land in hand to play around days. And I'm just kind of sitting there doing nothing. I can chump the dragon for a turn. Yeah, this is probably where I'm like supposed to be like, yeah, maybe I was supposed to take the hatchery because I can like set up a line where I can like blow it up afterwards.
Oh,
be,
then
like,
you get
fine.
chumpers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like lets me draw towards a. I just decided to fire off Wasteland. Do that. Like a Saga would be wonderful here.
And there's
Bearwife in the graveyard too.
Yeah. Does he reanimate the Goyf?
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And again, I think I'm like fine here, but like he keeps cantripping. I think he finds his black source here, or like some way to like get going. I think I saw the delta.
He's just got so many lands. Like he just every single
that's what I'm
turn he's
saying.
played a land. Yeah. I like kudos to him for like looking into the cosmos and realizing that's what he needed to do.
Yeah, I think he just gets to play a Bearwife from my graveyard, and I think that's just game losing.
Yeah, this showcases the power of the Reanimator deck too, like the way it pressures the
I think
game
at some
from
point in the match, I was
angles.
like, "Can you please just stop drawing lands?"
Yeah. You're only supposed to play 19. It feels like you have 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then here we go. I think he's like deciding which one's better, but at this point, I don't think it matters. Yeah. He touched my magic cards.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I don't care about the grist. I want this. I want this.
Yeah, I want this Goyf.
Yeah.
Which gets bigger when you leave the grist in the graveyard.
Yeah. That does that seems to be one of like a kind of annoying tension about your deck. The fact that you're like putting these creatures into the graveyard for the Reanimator deck to return. But I
said, if I was only playing against like the Reanimator deck, the Forge deck, and the Nadu deck, I probably wouldn't have had the Bearwives if I had that insight going into this tournament.
Right. But I mean, it is like a wide, right, like field, and you kind of want to have like diverse cards for all kinds of matchups because you never know like really what you're going to face.
Exactly.
Especially in the first like 6 rounds. So
I think I just scoop it up here relatively soon too. So yeah. Yeah, that'll do something. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like a 12-point swing here with lifelink on one side of it. Like, yeah. I think they're talking about how I like miss not being able to like smallpox the Murktide to be like kind of a way out of this.
Yeah.
I think I play it out here just to make sure I'm like dead, but
no, I mean, as one should do in the top 4 of Eternal Weekend.
Yep. The only exception is my next match, which is admittedly very funny in hindsight. I like jump there. I think I look for something here. Did I not take the damage off of that attack? What's going on here? I should be at like 3 here or something. I think we just forgot to mark it.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine what gets me out of this spot. I think the answer is like not really anything.
A dream.
Yeah,
Some kind.
a smallpox.
Smallpox, life from the loam target. Smallpox.
Yeah,
I don't know if that works.
Harbinger of the Tide. Get Mystic Sanctuary, put 2 smallpoxes back on top. I
There
think
we go.
then we're cooking. I think I'm just still dead on board. I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe if you got the hatchery many turns ago instead of the wasteland, you could have presented chump blockers, which might have been able to let you chain into loams, but
Oh my god. Yeah, I thought it was just dead this turn rotation, but I guess I was wrong.
maybe you are actually at 9.
Yeah. Like no, there was obviously a judge sitting there watching us too, so
HJ just making sure. Making sure he's
and
got
like I'm sure
you.
he's tracking it like a hawk too. Like
It looks like he is for sure.
it's another land. Ah! He played a land every single turn of this game and just
Yep.
like was just like
And that's exactly what you have to do to not fall behind.
draw. If it's a wasteland here, I can stall for a turn. If it's not, I'm just dead. I think,
Just rolling it up.
Wah, wah.
Alrighty.
Insane.
Yeah. So you're bringing in ley lines and pushes, you said earlier, and you're cutting Baragor's Hogax.
Baragorf Hogak. I think I was maybe experimenting with taking boots out in this context too, because like you're not really clocking them with like big creatures super quickly. I think that's what it was too, because there's also an opportunity cost for not fetching Spellbomb in this matchup.
Right.
And then on his side, you want Dothy. I think that's the big one.
Dothy seems good.
His EE seems pretty good too.
Yeah.
If you're anticipating me being on Leyline, you want the third borrower.
Yep.
And like everything else is like pretty perfunctory.
And I guess he would know that you're on Leyline as well because of the open deck list.
Yeah.
So if he does want to stay on the Reanimator, I think that
I don't remember how he boarded for this.
Nor do I. I know that like when talking to Michael Reed, Eureka, like Leyline is one of the graveyard spells that he cared least about. And I guess knowing that it's in there too and getting to put your third borrower in seems pretty good. If that's the route you want to take.
But game 1 it's there, and I think I forget who was telling me it. It's just like I think it was Brian Koval himself. He was just like, yeah, the semifinals against the Pox guy, he just like had a turn 1 Leyline, which is about as good as you can possibly ask for, and it just did not matter.
Yep.
He just plays a Tameo and flips it, and I'm just dead. I think I tried doing something to stop it, and then just like he had the brainstorm too. Also, Fatal Push is good against Voidwalkers if I'm anticipating that too.
We got a glimpse of the Chains of Mephistopheles right there.
I'm sitting on coverage with Chains of Mephistopheles in my hand. What do I do? I can't cast it.
Oh, so this was the one lander you kept?
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah. We just get to lose this game now.
So the idea was you've got Leyline in the Void, which should at least make him work for his Entomb Reanimate. And then you've got 25 lands left in your deck, so about half your deck, just under half your deck is a land.
If I hit a land at some point in this game, my hand is just full of like 2-mana bangers. Like,
right.
I just need to find the second land, and I just didn't.
Yeah, you can expect the first one to get hit by a daze, maybe the second one sneaks through or something, and it just didn't turn out that way.
I think I draw diamond at some point, and I'm just like, yeah, this is bad. But look at me. I have the smile on my face the entire way through it.
That's one thing that I commented as well when I was watching, because I know that like I feel like sometimes you might like get a bit salty when things don't and this isn't like an offense or any criticism of you at all, but I know, right, that there's like times when you're like, oh damn, and like I can tell that you get like flustered if you make like a misplay or if something doesn't like break your way. But it was like, I thought to myself, it's really nice to see Jacob with such a big smile on his face, not being flustered as he's like land screwed dying to a Tamiyo in the top 4 of Eternal Weekend. So kudos to you for like having just like the smiley go lucky Pox attitude all the way to the bitter end, brother. I think that's like something really to be respected and commended.
That was it was fun to get to this point, and even to this point here. That's me drawing the diamond.
Yeah,
that's me drawing a diamond. It's funny and it's like fun and like, yeah, I'm like kind of eating my breakfast right here right now, but like it's still a kind of good time here
for sure.
Oh, I guess the Thoughtseize and reanimate my grist here. Yeah. Oh, I'm so dead.
Yeah, this is. I mean, yeah, the Rumbles would have been sick.
Yeah,
faux show.
I was like one land away from like just like being fully alive in this game, and I just didn't see it. And it is what it is.
Yep. Do you think like that keep was brought to you by Leyline? If you're sitting in this spot again, do you mull this time? You go to 6, or do you stand behind your keep?
I think it's a reasonable keep. I think I had the Fatal Push in my hand too, so it's just like I'm not like immediately dead to a Tamiyo. Maybe there's a way I could have played that turn where I wasn't just like losing to the Brainstorm right after, but like not seeing another land there was just like the deal closer.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Because like it shuts off the reanimation stuff. It also shuts off Murktide, which like also just killed me that game too. I already know.
He's like, not yet, not yet.
Not yet.
Oh man. What a fucking legendary run, Jacob.
Yeah. It would have meant so much more for me to win Eternal Weekend with this deck, but top 4 is still pretty commendable.
Yeah.
No, now he finds it, and just like,
yeah, there's nothing to be upset about a top 4 finish. Making the top 32 is incredible enough. Just to having the chance to play like on camera in the top 8, right? Like this is the stuff dreams are made of, and it's like, and you were like literally the hero of the weekend. Like you're the hero nobody knew we needed. A bunch of people were kind of down on the format. I think yourself included, and you just kind of proved to everyone that you can, if you play well and have a little bit of luck to help propel you past the finish line, you can do very well in a tournament even with some off the wall deck. And so I think it should be a testament to like brewers, deck builders, not to give up and just like, succumb to one of the best strategies by just playing it because it doesn't seem like anything else is viable. Like new cards get published that change the kind of texture of games, and I think you are a living example of that in practice.
I think I asked him to just kill me here. He's obviously winning this game.
Yeah,
and it's like just kill me.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love to see this. This makes me really happy.
I stick the hand out anyway.
Yeah. He's like, I need to plus my Tamiyo 2 more times, draw half my deck, bounce your Leyline of the Void, and then reanimate a Trax.
Yeah,
but yeah. Damn, dude.
Alrighty.
What a legendary run.
What a run. Jeff and David are in the back, just like Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
dead. Yeah.
that's awesome. A couple of the Legacy of the North guys supporting Jacob Murray. Man, so is there anything else you want people to know about Pox? Anything else you want to comment on briefly? Thank you for taking have we been talking for 3 hours?
We've been talking for about 3
This
hours.
is going to be a long video. If anyone's made it this long, thank you for watching.
Thank you for supporting Scott here. I
Uh,
didn't realize I had it in me to talk this much, but here we are.
I mean, yeah, you put a guy who top bit for Eternal Weekend on his deck in front of a mic, and he'll ramble on for a while about smallpox.
I wanted to speak my truth about the pox.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, I just want to say, I really think this was actually a historic run. I mean, I haven't been following Pox, but I don't recall seeing Pox at a tournament of this caliber do this well in a very long time. Like in the power crept fire design world, it's incredible that
It's been a while.
that you were able to do this. What do you want your new cult followers to know? Anything?
I wouldn't go that far. I did go down the cult route a little bit. So some context here on that. The Pox Discord is called Cult of Pox. And just of course they were just going absolutely crazy here with me doing as insane of a run as I was. And just people were just oh, who is this guy? Can you get him into the server here? I had people coming up to me during the event. It was just one person, but he was just you're a legend, dude, for doing this. And just we need to get you in here. Can you review my deck list? And just it was all so much very quickly. And I didn't really know what this meant for Legacy as a whole. I just needed to focus on my matches during it. But
Absolutely.
I've had a lot of time to reflect on this. In a broad context, this is kind of just what happened when I was playing this deck and made the run I did. I took a deck that I wanted to play because I wanted to play it and just had an insane tournament run with it. I did get lucky. It helped that my deck was very well set up to tango with the top decks of the format. And I think I am an above average Magic player here.
Mm-hmm.
And I took this deck that no one really knew what was going on with it, and I top forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
And is that not just the dream of Legacy?
I think so.
Is that yeah?
I really think so. That is
This is what you're told Legacy is. When
exactly.
You start playing.
Exactly. It's a place for these old cards, to continue to exist and have an effect on the game, where we can celebrate the history of the game. I mean, there was an old podcast. I don't think they put content anymore. It was called Leaving a Legacy, right? The Leaving a Legacy podcast.
Heard of that
and
one.
You definitely have left a legacy with this run,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a mark on the Legacy format in general, where I think that people will cite this run years going into the future. Like I said at the
Correct.
beginning, nobody knew who Jacob Murray was before this tournament, and now your name is being uttered on some of the biggest Legacy podcasts and content creation sites. You have people like Redo commending your play. I mean, I think it's all just something wonderful to be celebrated, and so that was one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on here and chat with you about this run, so people can have something to look back to. To celebrate this great achievement of yours. So congratulations, Jacob, on the fantastic run. Jacob, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Scott.
No worries, dude.
Make sure you guys give Scott support here too. He was generous enough to entertain me going on about this deck for close to 3 hours. This is 3 hours. This is a lot.
It is.
Hopefully you can edit some of this down.
Yeah. I'll edit it down. I'm sure there'll be some degenerate Pox players who will want to listen to this all the way through. I imagine some of my Doomsday viewers are just going to be like, "What the fuck is this? We don't understand how this works." But that's how it goes. We're branching out here.
Wait till they see the gameplay.
Exactly.
We're gonna truly stump the Doomsday players on that one.
Absolutely. Awesome, guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. Jacob, if people want to reach out to you, is the best place to find you in the Pox Discord?
I'll be in the Pox Cord. I don't poke my head too much in there, but I usually try to give some insights whenever I can. Socials, you can follow me at Huppergeist on X or Instagram if you really feel that way too. There's not too much going on there, but there are there if you want to follow up.
Awesome. With that, I'll sign out on the video gear, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll be back to some more Doomsday action soon. Don't you worry. Cheers, everybody. It's the Semiotician signing out. Box. There we go.